Hello, soul friends. This is Miriam. Welcome back to my channel. Today's pick a card reading is going to be all about the year ahead. I'm very sorry for the delay. I did a whole other year ahead video and it would not convert. And so hopefully this one will. I'm very hopeful. I'm using a different camera app. So if my videos look different when you are tuning in, that is why I keep messing around with this phone. Sky's the limit as far as trying to figure out what I need to do to make things look good, and I suck at technology. So, remember, no matter your individual beliefs, tarot or oracle reading is, your spirit guide's coming forward to give you advice, or it is simply your subconscious mind helping you answer life's ponders. And no matter how you look at it, it's healthy and you are in the right place. So, we will be live shuffling using some sigils for you, sigils and symbols, and that's not the title, but that's what is going to be on the cards. And then we're going to be getting a couple of these for you as well. One for the beginning of the year and one for the end of the year going into the next year, okay? And then for tarot, we will be using these, one for every month of the year. And yeah, let's just get on into the live shuffling then. We're going to go ahead and start with this side. Getting a door for each one of your piles. Don't worry, I'll hold it up for you once I get to. Okay. This is group 1. Group 2. Ooh, group 3. Group 4. I will shuffle that other half of the deck for the end of the year during your readings, but let's go ahead and live shuffle your sigils real quick. And then I'll also give you some rocks to choose from. Okay, hang on. Oh, I thought there were extras there, but there were not. All right, let's go this way. Trying to make it real pretty for you. As you know, I'm terrible at doing that. Okay. All right, I'm just going to center this more. I'm doing this from the sunroom. Remember when I kept talking about the sunroom, y'all? Now we're here in sunroom country where the lighting is good even in the dark, at least compared to the living room. It is. So, all right. It's about as neat as I can get it for y'all. So group 1, you get the Dalmatian Jasper. Group 2, should pick a different set of rocks for this table. You get the Moonstone. Moonstone in a set of 3. Okay. Group 3, you get this little, I forget what this stuff is called. It's not Soda Light, and it's not Lapis, it's something else. It starts with a K, I believe. Let me know in the comments if you know what this is called for group 3. And then group 4, you get the little shell. Or mother of pearl. I don't know what it is. All right, go ahead and pause if you need, and we will see you in your individual readings. Hello, group 1. So if you picked the Dalmatian Jasper Heart, let's go ahead and get into your reading. For your overall year energy, this is the door that we're opening this year, whatever year it is that you're watching this. And like I said, we're going to start in January and go all the way around. But just like my weekly readings that I don't do every week, because I'm sorry, I just don't have the time. But just saying, just go with, if it's January over here and you're watching this in April is where you start, just go to each month and that will be your whole year worth of reading. Okay, we're going to go in and look for the year energy. We have the Odyssey. Take in the beauty of country lands and botany. Explore the wonder like a gypsy traveler's odyssey. All right, so your guides are talking about going out and taking in beauty of the lands, doing some kind of a natural. I feel like some of you might be doing some kind of. I don't feel like it's actually Whole Foods, crunchy granola type people all across the board doing this. I feel like a lot of you are like going on a quest to find things that don't have as many chemicals in them. A lot of people have been doing a lot of research. I've been doing a lot of research for the first time in my life. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I make it this far in my life without realizing what I was doing to my body? And so that is something. I also see some of you traveling to the country this year or doing maybe even a move for some of you, like going on an actual like traveling odyssey to a whole new place. So that's very new. So we have people moving, people going on kind of a natural health binge kind of thing, and a purge of old things. And then some people going on a trip, and others are like moving, kind of travel. The people going on a trip, you might be traveling indefinitely, but still going back to the same home base. But this is also feeling like somebody moving someplace indefinitely, and then somebody moving kind of back and forward and then going back to one or the other. Okay. Oof. So I'm just going to call that whole group the travelers. Is that okay, Spirit? They're like, no, if something comes out specifically for one or the other. Yeah, that's true. Shoot skis. So let's go ahead and flip that back over so you can see your beautiful door. And then when we get to your reading overall, I'm going to flip them over just so the energy will be open to you. And then we also have for your sigil the sun symbol. The golden energy of the sun brings fame and fortune. So very positive, just like the sun card in tarot, which is awesome. So yeah, the traveling that you might be doing this year, you are quite blessed on your journey. You're blessed in every other aspect. I'm also feeling like a love connection, like embarking on a new journey that way. Some kind of new like lifestyle stuff. Like maybe instead of meeting somebody on dating apps, you're like meeting them in real life. Or just like really awesome platonic friends, soul tribe people, awesome good stuff. You know what I mean? Am I even making any sense? Okay. I want to see what's coming towards you at the end of the year. You also got this other really cool blue door. So the color blue is not escaping me with you. And the little anchor we're using today is an owl. So with blue eyes. I'm wearing a blue dress, just so you know. I know it probably looks like purpley in the, but this is actually kind of a blue-gray in real life. All right, we're going to go ahead and let you look at the detail on this and then flip that on over. Deeper, you are not finished. You are not yet done. Dig deeper and deeper. The best is yet to come. Hold on, hold on. Pass this card on. Okay, so this is all about abundance and joy and good fortune as well. Goodness gracious. So if you're looking at this for love, career, traveling, for either you know, starting your own business somewhere else or doing it from here, but you're going to be traveling. I mean, like, however that works for you in your individual situations. Both of these are also very positive. So this, embarking on this journey that's beginning probably this year for a lot of you, and then deeper is talking about like where you're going to end up. So without further ado, go ahead and take a deep breath with me. We're going to flip these over. And when we do, that's going to open these doors up for you to embrace that sun, positive, wonderful, abundant energy. All right, are we ready? Exhale. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and get you some cards, one for each month of the year. We're using these bad boys right here. Okay. January, February, March, April. May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and I see these as clarifiers for the year as well. Okay. And if we need clarifiers for each one of these, we shall grab from the same deck. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, we're going to move the next 6 months over a smidgen. And we're going to start with these. I like this angle where it's at in the light. So let me know how you like the sunroom, y'all. The sun's like not even shining in here. It's just a really great light overhead now. And, you know, light's still coming in from the window, as you can see over here with that glare. It'd probably actually be better if we didn't have that light going on. Okay. For January, we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, for February, we have the Queen of Swords. I'm going to flip these all over and then we'll go individually. February, March, we have Seven of Wands. April, we have Queen of Wands. Sorry for the glare. That is one thing that comes through, is that reflection of my ceiling. There's a smoke alarm, I believe, right there for you. May, we have 10 of Pentacles. June, we have Strength in reverse. Sorry, snappity snap. And we'll stop there for the first 6 months and go in these individually. Okay, so for January, I feel delays for this group as far as finances go, as far as change. And there's a lot of big change coming, like traveling to a whole new place, starting a whole new job, falling into a whole new love, all that gross stuff, right? So this is just someone saying to you that it's not going to happen probably in January, if that makes sense. So anyway, this is all about, delays in your new awesome beginning, but like I still see it coming. It's just not coming in January. It's like, you're not gonna be like carrying yourself over the threshold just yet this month. And I see frustration coming along in that area as well. So like if this is some kind of romance, you might be like in the very, very, very beginning stages of it in January, or maybe you haven't even met them yet and you're going crazy. I am seeing that for both. So you need to pull back that wanting and lack energy, because that can always kind of make things shift to a bad outcome, my friends, remember? So let's just go ahead and get that out of your head. This is just a delay. It's not like it's never going to happen. Remember, the overall energy was quite positive, and the sun, right? It doesn't get any more positive than the sun. Okay. So for February, we have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is all about speaking your truth, holding to your standards. This could be those of you who are waiting for a love to come in, or like, hey, you know what? I'm not putting up with any shenanigans from any of these losers. Because the other thing that I'm going to feel is happening for the lovebirds is that you've been looking for love for so long, or you're just very eager to find that really good, ideal, compatible partner, that you're going to be like, oh, where are they? I need to find them. And you're going to be looking. And so if somebody shows interest, you're like, is this them? Is this the person? But then they kind of show you some red flags, or they kind of disappear for a while and you don't know where they are, etc. and so forth. It's like, oh, what's going on? They don't like me anymore, that kind of thing. Your guides want you to understand that during this time, it's best for you to hold out for ideal candidates. So if there's any red flags or anything that makes you go, oh, I didn't really like that, but then you start to explain it away, or you try to go, I don't know, then it's not the one, okay? Because the one in this particular case would be ideal, compatible. It feels very easy. It feels very, maybe even fast, if that's what you're into, But yeah, so you're holding out in February for the good stuff, right? And the same thing with like career, same thing with moving, like, so houses, for example, or living conditions might be something you're holding out for in February. You're like, I don't care if I have to wait until March to go. I'm waiting for my good property to show up, right? And so that is what I see coming in for February. Okay. 7 of Wands in March is overcoming challenges. So if you see challenges facing you, your guides want you to remember that you are quite destined for a good outcome this year. And so 7 of Wands is a victory as long as you don't lie down and go, oh, I give up, I can't, it's never going to work out, okay? That's the only time that it's going to get you, right? And so that being said, that goes along with relationships, jobs, all the stuff we talked about, the traveling, remember? Same thing with you guys. You might have held out for a different flight because you wanted to be comfortable on your flight. I don't know, whatever it, you know what to do. It's a general reading. I don't know if I'm supposed to go into as many, scenarios as what I can imagine or what comes to me, or if it's just like in general and move on. Let me know in the comments. Okay. But yeah, overcoming any of those challenges that face you, because there's always going to be challenges, but as long as you step into them and you don't lie down and give up, in the month of March, you're going to be a-okay. For Queen of Wands in April. Okay, and here's the deal, y'all. I keep seeing this collectively for everyone. I just got a new deck of cards, and it has the month of April on a calendar in one of the pictures on the cards, and it says April 25th. It's circled on this calendar, like one of those paper wall calendars. And it's April 25th that's circled. And when I saw that, I got this like blast of collective energy for every one of us. So I'm just going to bring that up for the April energy. The first reading that I did that has not been coming through properly, and I'm just giving up and moving on to this one. This was what I would call very, very, what do you want to call it? Very fast moving, positive collective energy that centers around the 25th of April. So this is romance. This is when it would start to shape up for those that are here for the romance. For those who are here for the job, it would shape up around that area. Okay, that's for some of you for this year. For others, it's like some kind of a move or finding a new home and just being very inspired in some way. Finding a new home can take all kinds of different like forms, but I do actually see moving into an actual living condition of some sort. And like wanting your traveling to go well and wanting it all to like just not settling, and then overcoming any challenges once you see what you want and then getting what you want in April. Okay. Yeah. And then we have 10 of Pentacles for May, because you're going to feel like a rich, wonderful, accomplished person, like the people in the 10 of Pentacles card traditionally. And so you're just going to be like, because look, there's a little birdie living there, a raven, and he's got this nice little house, okay, hiding from these kitty cats. They're not going to get him. Oh, there's another one, right? And just living the best life, okay? This, I'm just kidding, that cat's totally going to get in there and eat those guys. I don't think that they live in little households like that. Households. Let me know what you call those, little households in trees. Tree holes. You know, the ones that don't really, have you ever seen those in nature? I've only seen like 2 in my entire life, and I have no idea if they lived in there. Oh my Lord, I'm dying. Okay. So that's just riding high, feeling great, you know, settling in, very much bountiful. You know, if you were upset about this, you're not gonna be upset about it by this point in the year, okay? So the month of oh gosh, what is it? May? Yes, is going to be great. Those 2 months especially. Okay. Then we have strength in reverse for June. Some of you might have like a little setback in your health in June. I'm not seeing anything super serious. Just something that really puts a damper on that feeling that you had before, like maybe like an upper respiratory infection that kind of hangs on for a couple of weeks, or some kind of stomach flu that makes you feel funky for that whole month. Like not so bad that you can't work or anything like that. Just like kind of, you know, you just kind of feel off. Like one time I got bit by a spider and it made me feel off. It was like one of those black widows, right? And afterwards, like after the worst points of it happening, which happened within the first couple of days, right? Afterwards, it would just kind of linger, that kind of off feeling of like something happened to me that wasn't quite right, or like food poisoning does that to you sometimes. So be careful what you eat. Be careful and wash your hands. If you're out in public, definitely wash your hands and don't touch your face until you have washed your hands. And then as soon as you touch anything else, don't touch your face until you get home, right? And after you wash your hands. Do I sound like a germaphobe? Well, that was how I kept from getting sick when I was a teacher, like every 5 seconds. Like, ugh. Now that I live and work from home, I really don't catch colds from people. Of course, I'm also isolated, so like I could do the whole thing where like I go out in the world and catch something new that everybody else has developed immune stuff to, and then it just kills me. But but I have a partner right now that I can bring that home, bring it home to us, and then I can build up my immune system. Okay, let's look and see what else is happening for June. There might also be like some kind of a setback or delay that makes you feel like, hey, I was riding high. Why does this have to happen? I don't feel like it's anything super serious. It just feels like something knocking you off your high horse. It feels like a delay across the board. So like if this isn't about your, look how it lined up with that tree branch. Interesting, right? It doesn't necessarily have to do with everyone's finances. It just could be like how you feel about your fortune overall. So like possibly like you and your loved one have like a fight and that makes you feel like a little bit off for June and like, are we making a mistake? What's going on? Like I don't know what's happening here. I don't see that for all the lovebirds. But I do see it across the board for a lot of, the love crowd. Okay, let's go ahead and look at July. We have, sorry about the plane, if you can hear that, the Six of Swords. Okay, so anyway, sorry, I had to pause and go answer a message. Six of Swords for July is all about leaving a troubled past behind. This looks like two women leaving each other, like, or one definitely leaving the other. Did you ever see the movie The Descent? Do not watch that if you get scared easily. That is a kind of one of those really dark, disturbing horror movies, but you have to watch the old European version. If you watch the American version, they kind of clean it up with a Hollywood ending, and it's not that great. But the original ending is very, very good. If you can handle actual, real, like, horror movies, you know what I'm saying? Like, the characters in it are so cool. Like, even the bad guys are kind of cool, and don't watch the sequel. It's not any good. Just imagine it ending like the first European version. So you gotta get the, like, I think original director's cut is what it's called. But it's called The Descent. But anyway, like, I don't feel like she's doing this because she is a bad person. I feel like this is leaving behind somebody that already betrayed you. Like, I feel like somebody threw those swords into the boat. And so then it's like, okay, I'm out skis and like barely missing the major damage that could have happened, and then being like, no, I'm just kidding, come back. And you're like, and you're leaving. Okay, so narrowly escaping some kind of disaster is a lot of the times what this card means. In your particular case, it just means that you're getting out of town just in time. If this is the time that finally you get to move after overcoming all of that stuff. Some of you are finally actually making the move during July. Others, you're leaving behind like some, like, mentally leaving behind some really like negative people, places, things, feelings, ideas, etc., and moving forward that way regardless of your individual situations. Yes. Okay, moving along. July, August. Page of Wands. Yes, that's all about kind of finding your place, being very inspired though, and like not minding that you're new at this because you're just ready to take on where you are and just start doing what you need to do because this is what you wanted. Okay. And so I see you feeling very confident, even though it might feel like beginner energy for a lot of you. This is very nice and good energy for you. We also have for our September, we have the High Priestess in reverse. That shows like doubting your intuition. Okay, your guides warning you that if you don't use your intuition, you might miss something important. So it also indicates if you see some religious guru. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. So if you have like a guru that comes into your life in this month. They're saying to beware and vet people very, very thoroughly because there are a lot of swindlers out there. We don't want anything bad happening to you. So listen to your guides on this one. There's lots of good ones out there too, you know, like me. I'm not a guru. I'm just a reader, but you get the idea. Okay, so don't worry. None of this stuff is stuff that you can't overcome by knowing that it's coming. Okay, so that's why your guides are here, is to make sure that you understand that in the month of September, to just kind of look out for people who might not quite have all your best interests at heart, etc. and so forth, you know. For others, if you're doubting your intuition, you need to start to trust it, would be what this card is telling you during this month of September as well. Let's look at October. We have the King of Wands in reverse. This can kind of feel like maybe a male person might make you feel betrayed. Okay, so remember, like I said, with some people, you know, to like be very picky and choosy of who you let into your life romantically during this time. If there's any red flags, let them go. I feel like for some of you, disregard to this point, you will be with the wrong person, and that could end up being a problem. That's just one little misstep in there for the crowd who is looking for romance, and that's coming in as a warning if you don't follow the advice of avoiding red flag behavior. Okay, so now what does it mean for others? For others in the romance department, this would indicate a person who is like maybe the person that you haven't had red flags with, that it's been going really well. They get a little bit insecure and jealous. That's coming in for some of the love crowd, okay? So just take note of this, like write it down in a journal or something, because this is quite a ways into the future. It's all the way in October, right? And so what else? Let's see. It's nothing that you can't overcome. It's just what's coming through. For those of you in the workforce, this would indicate a coworker or somebody that gets jealous of you that you need to make sure you keep an eye on. Remember that whole like phony person coming into your life possibly. They are showing that they will show their true colors if you don't get rid of them now, okay? As far as, you know, so those of you that didn't have a red flag about your loved one, you know, this isn't something that you can't work through. This is just like your partner or you feeling a little bit jealous or insecure of, you know, the relationship, right? And then you need to just like move through it and trust your intuition that nothing is going on, because it isn't, okay? And then those of you that had red flags way back when, this would be what would be happening if you needed to get out, okay? I know that's kind of like technical, but it's a general reading. Okay, let's look at November. We have King of Wands. Good. Okay, so King of Wands is exactly the opposite of, you know, any trouble with a person. You know, if this is about a romance, the King of Wands is all about falling in love with somebody who's compatible, who's passionate, who doesn't mince words, who doesn't feel shame about being in love, etc. and so forth, okay? So like we were saying, if it's this person feeling kind of insecure or you feeling insecure, you're going to feel much better by the month of November. If it was somebody that you had red flags with and you finally get rid of them, you could meet your Prince Charming or your King of Wands in November if you get rid of them that month, okay? So and that's only if you had red flags way back before, okay? With jobs, you're going to overcome that jealousy type person, and your boss is going to see you for who you really are. in the month of November, and you're going to feel that King of Wands energy, feeling inspired, feeling like you can move forward. And then by December, yeeshies, we have some nudity. All right. We have the Queen of Pentacles, which is success, moving forward. So we're right there in that deeper energy, right? And you are moving right along into your destiny of that sun energy. Okay, let's get a couple of clarifiers. What? You guys, remember how we got these way back at the beginning? Okay, she's covered with her hair. You got the sun. What? I can't even make that up. And then you also got the Hierophant. So feeling like you could teach people a thing or two about manifesting, like about as perfect of a year as I can even imagine. So good for you, group one. All right, so sorry this was so long in the making. I might have to do these in sections if my converter can't be nice. I don't know what to do about it. It's making me mad. So all right, if this was helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. And we will see you in the next one, my friends. Take care. Bye. Okay, hello group two. So if you picked the 3 moonstones, let's get into it. I apologize if I don't sound super enthusiastic. It's just because this is the second time I'm making this video. It's like a long video because my converter decided to, not do things the way I needed it to do, coupled by the fact that my phone has a new camera. It's a new phone. It's got a camera on it, and I can't get the thing to work the way I need it to work. I can't get any of the lighting correctly. Like I was in the sunroom for pile 1, and I got a phone app for cameras so that I could actually use my phone's camera the way I'm supposed to use it, because apparently if you buy a new phone now, you have to get a camera app that's super special to, make your photographs look like you didn't use a Nokia freaking 2006 or whatever. Do I sound snarky? Yeah, that's because I am. Like, how much money these things cost? Of course you do, because we all have to have them now. And they don't even work right. It makes me so mad. So, it looks great everywhere I'm doing it with this photo app, but then when I put it in my converter that's, crappy, and I guess I have to get a new converter, the lighting was so bad. And I'm like, great, I already have bad lighting, and now you're taking the one spot where I had good lighting and making it look terrible. So now we're back in the living room trying it here. Tell me your technology frustrations in the comments section. I will hear and give you empathetic comments back, because I will gladly commiserate with anybody on how expensive everything is and how inefficient it all is. Blech. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's opening up for you for 2025. Now that, we're almost a weekend. Ooh, nomad. The nomadic wanderer lies deep inside, so take the leap now. Don't crawl back and hide. Oh, it rhymed. I don't remember the last one's rhyming. All right. So some of you, are going to be traveling. It's funny. Oh, your poor guides. What's really funny, and I noticed this with group 1, is that all the same messages are still coming in from the entire 3-hour video that I did before that I had to scrap because nothing would convert properly. And it turned out that I had flipped a toggle on my stupid phone while I was trying to fix the camera, which I'm always trying to do, and that made everything the biggest file format you've ever seen in your life. My life partner was looking at it to try to fix it because he's way more tech savvy than me, and he was like, I don't even understand how it made anything this big. I was like, well, and you can't use it for anything, so that's cool. I'm glad it has that capability that you can't put in a converter or play on anything or upload to YouTube. It's great. I'm glad that we have that. I'm glad I paid extra money for it. Okay, I have to stop. So for you guys, the message that's coming through is also very similar to the one that you would have gotten in the last video that I just scrapped. I'm like so mad. Like, you know me, I don't do like 3-hour videos. Like, I had tons of cool stuff in there for you guys, and it was loopy and dorky, and it was great. And now here we are with snarky Miriam. Snarky, cynical, jaded Miriam. Some of you might be feeling snarky and jaded right now. Maybe that's why you want to travel a bit. I do feel a vibe of like getting away. And like they said nomad, they weren't like business traveler, right? It's like some of you might actually be going nomad. And if you have the capability and the health and the means of however you need to go about to do that, go for it, because everything's going to heck in a handbasket over here. You know, you watch the news. Everybody watches the news because we have social media stuff and the news pops up whether you want to watch it or not. And it's all terrible, right? So like every time they're like, oh, this big giant earthquake's about to go off, or oh, this, you know, these aliens are about to come kill us all. I'm like, tell them to hurry up. I'm sick of it. It's getting stupid down here. So anyway, but yeah, if you can go off the grid and live that way, I think you'll be happier for sure. Kind of jelly. And I'm never going to have that capability unless I just take what they call the hypothermia walk. And that's not about surviving, baby. Okay. So that being said, don't do a hypothermia walk. People love you. And call 988. There's people that will help you. Oh, maybe I should call 988 and people can help me there. I don't know. So it looks like it's a big move, regardless of whether or not you're going to literally become a nomad. I feel like some of you might be traveling like indefinitely for like maybe work, or that's just like what you're going to do for a while. Maybe some of you are like going on what they call sabbatical, where you go travel the world and like you get paid to do it. It's like part of professors and university people get to do it. And it's like part of your education that you get to go like abroad on sabbatical, right? And like some people go on sabbatical for like years. Anyway, I never got involved enough in the collegiate world to do any of those, but I feel, you know, sabbatical did come into my mind. And explain to me what sabbatical is, because I know I'm messing it up a little bit. Excuse me. Okay. I have an air bubble in my throat. All right. But yeah, I feel like some of you are just going on a trip as well, but like it's like a well-needed, well-earned, well-deserved trip. And definitely travel is going to be a thing for all of the people here in group 2 for 2025. If you're like me and you're like, yeah, I can't leave my house generally without almost dying all the time, you know, like that kind of thing. Maybe not the group for you, but you know, stick around. There might be something here for you. But yeah, travel's definitely a thing. So some of you might be traveling. Okay, I got a bunch of stuff coming in. So scenario 1, some of you are just traveling somewhere for like a trip and then you're going to come home. Okay. It could be work related, could be not. I'm going to do these all right now so that I don't have to keep saying them, because like I feel like I start rambling and then I say one word that triggers a memory and then you guys get like a big long weird unrelated story. Maybe you like that. I would like it, but that's just me. So some of you are going on a trip either for work or not, and you're going to be there for a period of time, but then you're going to come back to your home base. Some of you, traveling is going to be your home base. Like maybe you got a job, like, I don't know, being a flight attendant, right? Traveling sales, Doctors Without Borders, nurses that travel, I don't know, all that stuff, traveling, okay? And that just is like your life now, or at least for 2025. And then some of you are going nomad entirely. I feel like that's a specific few. And then what was the other one? It's like you're going to go somewhere for a while, but you might keep the same home base, but like you're going to be over there for a while. And I said over there, like I'm seeing a lot of overseas journeys, collectively speaking. Not everyone, but a lot, like distance, you know? And so that's super exciting. It also can open up a lot of challenges with like relationships and, you know, getting acclimated to your surroundings. And yeah, I used to travel for a living. I liked the travel part and the parts where we weren't working, but the job sucked for me. So, which I spent a lot of my time at. So, had to change my mind there. Now I couldn't do it if I wanted to. Anyway, so like lots of traveling, either for work or for not. Excuse me for yawning. I need to figure out what yawns mean when I'm doing readings. Let's look and see what your special symbol or sigil is for 2025. Weep. Ooh, we have the Mystic Star, harmony in the home and great friendships. Interesting. And wonderful, because I was talking about how it brings challenges with relationships, like to have that confirmation, like that should have quashed some worry for someone, I'm sure. So harmony in the home and great friendship. So it's like that. Ugh, not to quote Metallica, but you know, there's that song about being like a wanderer, nomad, vagabond, call him what you will. And it has that line where I lay my head as home. That's not, that quote isn't like original to Metallica. It's like a common saying. But I feel like you're going to find like harmony in your home life, whether this is going away and then coming back and finding that harmony, finding some new family harmony relationships over there, then coming back and still maintaining those, going from place to place and just collecting a whole soul family. Like it's feeling very, very positive with the people who are coming into your life and just the way things are going to fall into place. And I don't feel like you're going yet, you know, like I feel like this is going to be like a gradual thing that happens over the course of this year. It's like it might not have started yet. So if you're like, but I haven't gone anywhere yet, Marianne, you're so dumb. You wouldn't say that because you're nice people. You're going to get there. It's coming. The travel is happening. Even if it's just a trip for some and not just a trip for others. It's going to be like a lot of trips. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at, oh yeah, I need to pause this and trace this little symbol because there's a symbol somebody taught me, my Qigong instructors taught me, that is very powerful, and it has one of those in it and kind of over it. You do it all in a certain like order, all the different little shapes and movements. I'm not going to do it here because it's a super powerful symbol. And apparently you're not supposed to just give it out to anybody, but I am going to trace this because I suck at drawing the Mystic Star. So, well, that didn't happen. I couldn't find paper thin enough to trace this bad boy. So we're just going to wait. All right. Let me know if you can draw one of these in the comments section. I can't draw worth a dang. I'm so bad at it. I can do stick figures that are super like interactive looking. They can have little personalities, little clothes, all that stuff. But you try to get me doing anything like remotely realistic looking, and it's not going to happen, y'all. It's like a surrealistic nightmare. Okay. So let's see what's coming for you. Ooh, what a pretty door for the end of the year, or what's going to come to you by the end of the year, where your journey is leading, what it's going to open. We have I'm trying to say three-eyed raven. As sunrise hits upon the dew, a messenger raven calls out with news. Prepare for the unexpected. So much adventure. And like wisdom, like the three-eyed raven. I don't really know much about three-eyed ravens. Like, I want to be honest and just really call myself out on my mythology understanding here. Like the three-eyed raven, the only time I've heard about that was in Game of Thrones, which was a show that everybody watched a lot for a while. Including me. And then, you know, the ending kind of left everyone going, nah, like so many shows do. So look at the little eyes in the windows. It's what it looks like to me, like the little eyes and then like a third eye up here, and it does kind of like bird-like from far away. When I get up close, it doesn't so much. Maybe it does for you. But yeah, like so many changes coming forward, but they feel good. Okay. And there's like by the end of the year, there's something coming towards you that's unexpected. I feel like probably it's like an enlightenment, it's like a big life lesson type feeling. You know, finding your home, which many of you might not have ever felt like you had. And now all of a sudden it comes into play as this, like, I feel home in this new nomadic situation that you find yourself in. Even if the, even if the nomadic situation is short-lived, right? Even if it's just a trip. So interesting. I'm also seeing lots of like psychic downloads with that three-eyed raven, right? Seeing beyond. I feel like some of you are cracking open your third eye, not maybe for the first time, but like for the first time in a long time. And just a very, very strong dedication to like self and exploration and finding that harmony within the life that you are living. What else? How long have I been rambling? Okay, moving on. Let's get you a card for each month of this year. We're going to start with January, and then we're going to go to December and maybe get a couple of clarifiers for you. If you are watching this not in January, like you're tuning in March and just want to know what's going to happen the next year from where you're starting, just start on the month that you're going on, or you can reapply it however makes sense to you. Like that's how I would do it though, is just like going to the months I know. I also do that with past. Like I'll go watch pick a card reading and ask about something from my past and see if it's accurate. That's how you find a good connection with a reader. Because like I feel like everybody that, not everybody, you know, I mean there's still a lot of scammers out there, but like a lot of the people that do this kind of work know that you have like connections with some people and like some connections you don't make. And so that could be a way of finding a connection like that. Maybe that's how you found this channel. All right, let's take a look at the January. We have 8 of Pentacles. I think this little lady might be, nope, she's got clothes on, good for her. I mean, it is autumn. She's kind of cold. Okay, so 8 of Pentacles, that's putting your head down and really working towards something. Like I said, I don't feel like everybody's hopping on a boat or a plane this month. You might be, but like I feel like everything's in preparation for where you're headed. Because this is a year-long reading, right? And so I feel like for so many people that January, like in the other reading and in this one too, because they've been pretty spot on. January for everyone has been this like catch-up month that I've been noticing with like clients and readings and even with myself, where it's like you're recovering from the holidays, you're recovering from, you know, oh, we had an election, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, pretty big one, pretty big stuff happening in the news. Like, I feel like if you've always watched the news, you could probably trace back everything that was seeming like, whoa, this has never happened before. What's going on, right? To pretty much every like day or time period that you can think of. There was probably something crazy going on in the news because they got to get those ratings. But I feel like for everybody, for the most part that I've been reading for lately, it's like January's been this like kind of recuperate, relax as much as you can, but like nobody expects you to because you just spend a lot of time doing the holiday thing. And so everybody just wants the world to get back on track and back to normal, but it takes everybody a minute. So anyway, that's what I'm seeing mainly for January. Like I'm also seeing like, not so much with this group, but like some frustration over things just not moving a little bit faster forward. I think a lot of people collectively are feeling like they just want January to kind of be over. Okay, so anyway, Yeah, it feels like January is going to be slow moving, saving money, trying to recover the lost money from the holidays. La da 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 da. Let's go ahead and look at February. We have Page of Swords. So that looks like that's when the communication is going to start coming in for some of you. It's going to get this ball rolling towards this 2025 destiny. It does feel very work related, but it doesn't have to be. So like if it's just like a soul travel or a trip, just forgive me if I end up talking about career too much. But yeah, it's like this, getting communication and deciding to go, getting communication, getting the green light that it's time to go, finding out where you're going, etc. and so forth. It all seems to be happening in February for most of you. However, I'm not going to totally hold you to that because as I've been doing the other readings, as we go through the months, I see different things opening up for different people at different times. Not feeling any romance yet, thank God. Were you hoping for romance? Well, wait and see. Maybe you'll meet somebody later on this year. We have Ace of Swords for March. So for those of you that don't head out for sure in February, many of you will be taking that journey in March, or you'll have a set plan by then. Communication is going to be a big thing for you during this time. A lot of people are going to be watching you, especially if it's a job situation, but you have a lot of like main character energy in this group, so it feels like you just kind of get noticed everywhere you go. And I'm not going to say that you're a lucky little sucker for that, because sometimes getting noticed is not always the best thing. So, as you well know, I'm seeing that speaking your truth is very important for February and March. Really negotiating firmly if you are doing any type of career-related ventures. And yeah, speak your truth no matter what. Even if you think it's not what people want to hear, the truth is the truth, right? And some people just don't like the truth. That's why, they shoot messengers and stuff like that. All those poor messengers, like, seriously, I can't even imagine. I'd be like, I'm gonna tie this to like the master's favorite dog and just let the dog break the news to him. He'd probably shoot the poor dog. People are terrible. All right. April. By April, things are going to start feeling, this is crazy. It's like the same cards are coming out for you. Thank God you're getting the same reading, so that's good. I'm just, more snarky this time than I was before, and it's like a whole different set of cards. Oh, let's see here. Wheel of Fortune is all about things falling into place right when they need to, things happening exactly as the universe wants it to, the timing being impeccable, synchronicities falling into place. So that energy is very strong across the board for this whole year. This is the point where in April, you're going to be kind of basking over how well February and March go, because February and March are going to go very well for you. Yes, it's a little bit of beginner energy in February because you're going to a new place, you're embarking in a whole new lifestyle, a new job, whatever your individual situation is. And you do it well, you shine in March. And so by April, you're kind of like, I feel like this is a really lucky, wonderful time in my life. And you would be correct. So I see you not just, I see you not just, sticking with this and being like, this is working, I'm so happy. I see you like realizing like, hey, I had a lot of positive thought going into this. I had a lot of really positive energy around me when I embarked on this. And I feel like I'm creating more positive energy just by feeling that positivity. So you're going to start manifesting things that go beyond just what you've manifested for this situation. It's like, let's see if I can make all the lights turn green on my way somewhere, right? Let's see if I can, get some cloud coverage so that we can get some rain, or get some cloud breakage so we can get some sun, like that kind of thing. And just seeing like what you can change with just the power of your mind. And I see that the more you do that, the more lucky you're going to feel, the more blessed you're going to feel. And you're going to be like, not even just feeling lucky and blessed, because you're going to feel like you're the one that's doing it because you are. Yes. I also see you spending a lot of time. See how they're all like reading these little tomes? I feel like you're going to be studying a bit, like, especially if you're on sabbatical or on some kind of spiritual retreat or some kind of a journey in that regard, finding yourself. The story Eat, Pray, Love. Is that how it's? Is it Eat, Pray, Love? I never read the book. I watched the movie. I know. I was an English teacher for 13 years, and there's a lot of movies I watched that I did not read the book. Sorry. I'm not sorry. One of the things I just am never sorry for is not living up to the expectations of the stereotypes other people put on me. I feel like you're going to start shirking that as well, which is kind of what Eat, Pray, Love was all about, wasn't it? Like, wasn't it about a woman just taking a trip and finding herself? Like, yeah. And the whole time I was like, what does she do for money? What is she doing for her money? I didn't watch her work once that whole show. She must have had some savings saved up, or I don't even know, or some royalties rolling in. I'm not sure. And it's because I've just never had money. So when I look at people that do things who do have money, I'm like, how do you do that? And then I'm like, oh, the money makes sense. Not that a bunch of you have money. I feel like a lot of you, this is how you earn your money. So I'm not giving you a hard time. I don't think that you all are out there yachting, you know. And even if you are, good for you. I wish I could yacht around. That'd be sweet. You know, but I know nothing about yachts or water or yachting or what water does. I've only seen the ocean like a few times. Okay, more than a few now, but you know, very brief encounters with the ocean, very brief encounters with airplanes, that kind of thing. So if I ever sound like, man, I don't know what I'm talking about, it's because I don't. Very, very few physical real life experiences going on here. Cerebrally, I'm very, very experienced. So, but yeah, like studying new things, finding yourself, finding a home within yourself, finding that home and harmony within yourself. I wish everybody could do that. And I mean, like, don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm walking around doing that all the time. It's like it comes and goes, but it's something that I think is important for people to strive for. Is not necessarily being totally self-sufficient where you don't need anyone else kind of deal, but getting emotionally self-sufficient to where you don't need anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all need help. We all need people around to help us. But if we can only hold ourselves responsible for our emotional well-being, we usually emotionally do a lot better, because nobody's going to do what you need them to do emotionally. Generally, they're going to do what they need to do. Why did that come up? Must have been a message for somebody, or you needed to hear that message about somebody else. And now I'm like, some of you might have a really cool leg tattoo, because I was like seeing the way this leaf is falling near her leg, and I was like, man, that'd be a perfect placement for a little leaf tattoo. Just kind of swirling down your leg would be really cool. I can give you that idea because my legs are already covered with tattoos. I don't have to worry about giving away ideas. Okay, let's go ahead and... So yeah, lucky time, feeling good, manifesting more because of all the success that you're generating, studying. Some of you might be studying manifesting and be like, what more can I do? What else can I experiment with? And I see you doing it in a very curious, very productive, very positive way. So more power to you. Like, I don't see you getting drunk with power and like, I wonder if I can make that roof fall on those people I hate. Nothing bad like that. I see you being cool about it. All right, we have temperance for May. That's all about balance again. Balance, healing, really just going with the flow. If you've been having health issues, this card has the promise of things improving. Okay, I guess I'll tell you about this. Esoteric people and probably that's most of us because you're watching a tarot reading. Some believe that spiritually, we have like the physical plane where we all are right now, and it's super boring and gross and disgusting and painful. And then there's like the astral plane, which is also kind of crazy, but less physical and biological and gross. And some of them believe that we all have like spiritual like wings or spiritual horns on our like soul bodies, and even like spiritual tails. And I have no idea if that's true, but I certainly picture myself having wings and a tail, which is odd because I don't have a matching wing or tail situation going on. I have like a cougar cat tail and like raven wings, so you figure that out. I don't know. I just know I like to knock stuff over with my tail. I don't know if I actually can do that. But you can use your tail. I thrash it to make sure people understand they shouldn't get too close to me. And sometimes it actually works, but only on people who are actually like sensitive to that kind of thing. If they're oblivious, they're still just going to come over and try to pick me up. And I don't mean like pick me up, like take me out on a date. I mean like literally hoist me up and just pack me around because, oh, look, she's so small. It's so messed up. A word to the wise: if you're out hanging around outside somewhere in a crowd and you see a tiny little person that looks like you could pick them up, maybe don't pick them up without asking them. And like, if they say no after you ask them, maybe don't continue trying to pick them up, or like wait for them to turn their back and walk away, and then you like bear hug them from behind and try to pick them up anyway. Doesn't that sound crazy? Yeah, I can't go anywhere. Even if I was well. When I was well and able, not well, but able to go out more, I got picked up a lot. Or like people just like slap you on the back as hard as they could, like, ha ha, you're so funny, and like knock you across the room because you're 100 pounds and you're dying, It's just great. So don't do that. Don't do that. If you see somebody else doing it, set them straight. And here's the other thing. If you have a tattoo and you go into a crowd of people where that tattoo is somewhat visible to them, 1 in 12 people are going to try to touch that tattoo if they see you. Let me know how many strangers touch your tattoos. Or have you ever touched a stranger's tattoo? Did you just walk up and go, oh, let me see it? And then they start rubbing it, right? And I think it's because they want to see if it's like raised, right? Right? But at the same time, it's like, I don't want you to pet me, stranger. Why are you doing this? It's very strange. Yeah, anyway, let me know if random strangers like to just pick you up and hoist you around, or let me know if you've ever done that to anybody, and I'll be like, please don't, But yeah, Temperance is all about healing. It's all about, very much about good balance. So positive. And like, what's cool about it is it's a major arcana card. So it's like your life path. Same thing with Wheel of Fortune. Like, to go from Wheel of Fortune to Temperance is pretty sweet, right? Because that means that things are going really well. So May is looking pretty awesome. Healing, balance. I see you kind of coming into your power then. Like here you're like, I feel so lucky. I might try new things. And then maybe you've tried those things and you're like, oh yes, I feel it. It's happening for me. And that could be any little thing, like I said, like turning lights green, or, you're scared of flying. So instead of thinking, oh, I'm scared, what if we crash? You think, oh, I can't wait to fly through the air and take pictures while I'm up there, kind of situation. It changes your brain from being nervous to excited. And I know this because I've tried. My first plane ride was horrible. My second plane ride was fun, because the second time I spent a good solid few weeks beforehand saying, I can't wait to fly through the air and see all the cool stuff below me. I can't wait to get a window seat. And I got a window seat on almost all the flights, because I had a few. Okay. Yeah, healing, balance. I feel like maybe you might share that with some people. Be careful who you share your plans and your magic with. Not everyone has your best interest at heart, and the ones that act like they really, really do are usually the worst. Just in my experience. I'm not jaded at all. June. 3 of Wands. See? Plans just keep falling into place for you. Three of Wands is all about stuff working out, long waits coming to an end. For some of you that are doing the traveling thing, this might be a point where you move location again, or you come back to your home base and you get to see some people that you really miss. So there's like, maybe some vacation time in June for some, going back to the home base for others, but really reflecting on the fact that like things have been working out really well and you're at the 6-month mark. So you've made it through half the year and things are going really well. I like that for you. What else? Let's see. Let's go into the next few months. So that was January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. I feel like these three are your clarifiers. We'll set those aside. Okay. 9 of Pentacles for July. That is also basking in success. That is you like being like, yeah, I did it my way. Look, I have arrived. Right? And she doesn't have anybody with her. She's got her own thing. Look at her checking her, like showing off her thigh. Like, I'm going to show my legs today. Oh man, that reminded me of a really cute kid that I used to teach that ended up being one of the kids that passed away. But one of the last things I ever heard her say was that my legs are my best feature. And I thought, that's so cute, that she already has like a best feature that she likes, poor little baby. God bless her. Anyway, so anytime I see like a gal like showing some leg, I always think of that little gal being like, my legs are my best feature, like so cute. Oh, anyway. It's so funny because the pentacles in this are like clearly like some kind of sand dollar situation going on, but like I just see cucumbers, little slices of cucumbers everywhere. See, look, little cucumbers on the tree. I can almost smell the cucumbers, which I'm allergic to. I used to love them. They were one of the last things to go. Okay, so that's about having money, baby. That's about having your own property. That's about having like your own space, your own like brand, your own whatever. Like she's hanging out, rocking it, just rocking it. So this is the point where I see some of you, if you are returning to home base, maybe buying some property, right? Maybe investing in something super lucrative and cool and having it pay off well. Like I'm seeing a lot of this in July. What else? Having a glow up, like getting in shape and then going to like the beach in July and being like, check out my legs. Check out my washboard abs, or whatever. Check out my, I don't know, do you tan? Anybody tan anymore? I don't know how. So can you tell? This is the only color I come in, man. It's not getting any better. Like I tried to like tan once and I wasn't really tanning. I just like stopped slathering myself with sunscreen for like 5 whole seconds for like 1 whole summer and just let nature take its course, which I'm never out in the sun that long. And all I got were like weird little freckles. I still stayed pasty, so there's no point. Okay, so anyway, let me know if you're great at tanning. Let me know if you grow your own hair. That'd be cool. All right. But yeah, lots of financial stuff coming in, financial freedom even. Being pretty self-sufficient as far as your finances and job stuff go. If it's not about finances and jobs, and this was just like a soul journey, well, you've also arrived as like knowing exactly who you are right now, and you love who you are right now in July. Let's see what happens in August. We have 4 of Wands in reverse for August. Okay, so let's look at 4 of Wands in reverse. So 4 of Wands in the upright position is very much about stability. 4 of Wands in reverse is very much the opposite. So I feel like come August, there's going to be something that comes along that makes you feel a little less stable in all this cool stuff that's been going on. Don't worry, it's not the end of the world. Nothing horribly catastrophic is going to happen. You know, if breakups happen, they were meant to happen. It's not like you're going to go out and make a huge mistake or anything awful like that. But there's going to be something that feels out of alignment for you in August. Like maybe you find out that some area in your life that you thought was stable isn't as stable as you thought. It does feel kind of relationshipy, I have to be honest. I don't think it's related to your career or to any of this travel even directly. I feel like it's mostly, oh, what do you want to say? What do you want to call it? Yeah, relationshipy. It feels kind of romantic-y, gross. It can also be friendships, family type stuff. It's like something that you thought was okay is going to be like, wait a minute. You know, it could even just be like finding out somebody that you know isn't as stable as you thought they were. Anybody ever have one of those experiences? Where you like thought you had a pretty good read on somebody and then they flip 180 and you're like, who are you? What is happening right now? Trust that instinct. You're not feeling that because you're an unreasonable person. You're feeling like that because something's off. Okay, something feels out of whack, something feels like imbalanced. And so this is going to be a month where you're going to kind of start checking your surroundings, your relationships, your situations, to see what exactly is not working for me right now, to get yourself back into that energy. You've manifested so much up to this point that I don't feel like this is going to phase you to the point of like, oh, I can't, I'm just done with everything. You know, I don't see anything like that happening. I see you getting back into alignment. I just see this being like what you have to experience to get there. And I still feel like this is going to come out terrible as far as exposure. See how everything looks very blurry to me right now through the camera. Okay, so that was July, August, September. Yeah, some heartache. I feel like there's going to be somebody in your life in August that ends up not being who you thought they were. And it's going to cause you like heartache. It's not going to destroy you. It's not going to kill you. It's going to disappoint you. And I feel like you're not even going to really be surprised. It's part of this growth journey that you are on, okay? Sorry, I had to take one of my earbuds out so I can scratch my ear. Does anybody else's earbuds make your ears itchy? Okay, I'm back. I'm back in full ear alignment. And like, notice how there's like a little spider down there? Like, I feel like almost like you're going to figure out that somebody was trying to play you. And like, you're going to catch them in plenty of time, but just the fact that they did it and you once thought highly of them is going to hurt. Okay. So this is when you notice things are kind of off. Notice how nothing's happening in a whirlwind. This is like over the course of a couple of months. I don't feel like this is something that's going to affect your finances. I don't think it's going to be something that affects your overall like livelihood or how you go about living your life. I just feel like somebody's going to show their true colors in a way that makes you go, not the person I thought you were. That sucks. Can't say I'm surprised, but I can say I'm disappointed. I kind of see it being like disappointment in people in general. Like, I feel like you're kind of jaded like me. And how do we get that way? Well, from people being jerk faces. That's how. I mean, how else? So, and I'm not saying we're all little angels, that we all like don't play parts in like the conflict that we get into, but here's the thing. In this particular situation, this definitely feels like somebody else doing something wrong and you feeling hurt over it and not the other way around. One of the things that I do when I go through something like that, that's like over the top crazy, you know, like I know I didn't do anything wrong, you know, and even if like misunderstandings happened, I didn't have any malicious intentions or wasn't manipulating anyone, you know, that kind of energy. And then you start like standing up for yourself and they start to gaslight you. Like, that's when you need to start like thinking, okay, yeah, it sucks. It's disappointing that that person isn't who I thought they were. It doesn't mean that that kind of, you know, good thing that you thought you had doesn't exist or that you're never going to have, you know, good people around you. But it's easier for me to grieve what I thought was real when I realize it wasn't probably ever real. And that's kind of what this situation feels like to me. Like you sort of realizing something unfavorable about someone you cared about and being like, that sucks, that hurts. And so I see you removing yourself from that situation over the course of these 2 months, like ghosting somebody, maybe moving on in an emotional way. Like it's very hard to grieve somebody that never existed, other than just grieving the idea of what you thought they used to be, right? Okay. So I see you kind of not licking your wounds, but just kind of, taking some time to reflect and heal over what happened. I don't see you like pushing away the hurt. Sorry, I hope you can still hear me. And being like, I'm fine, it's cool, I don't care, I don't even care. And like maybe that's what you're saying to people, which is fine. But inside, you're letting yourself feel the feelings, which is good. Because you gotta feel those feelings, otherwise you can't move forward. You can't heal if you don't feel the feelings. It has to hurt if it's gonna heal. Okay. September. Let's check out October. 2 of Cups. Oh, wait. Oh, good. I think there's another card in here with horses that look a lot like this, with a very not clothed woman on top of one of those horses. 2 of Cups is about partnership. So for some of you, love or a new connection is going to come in the next month. So here's the deal, y'all. If this was a breakup situation and then you end up making up with that person here, that's totally great. It's totally fine. But keep in mind that a lot of times people that I call, actually I don't have a name for them, I guess just shady people that kind of tend to, it's like they go through life trying to get an angle over on everybody. Like they don't feel secure unless they've got every angle covered on everyone, including like what they think of you, what they think of them, what, you know what I mean? How you see them, how other people see them. And when they see you start to move on, they could come rushing back in and be like, let's work it out. I can't lose you. Lots of promises and that kind of thing. This is not specific to all of you. This is just a message for some that I need to get out of the way because it's gross romance stuff. And whoa, it's all I do at work is talk about romance. So, you know how miserable that is when you don't care about it, you guys. Call me for a love reading sometime. I might not enjoy it. I've got lots of experience doing them. That's mainly what people call you about. And I figured out why. It's because either you can't find that person or you have to dialogue with somebody because you can't dialogue with them yet for some reason. Or you can't dialogue with them about that situation for some reason, or at least you don't feel comfortable doing it yet. And so I totally get why people do it. I'm just not a romantic. I don't believe that falling in love leads to ultimate happiness because I've been in love with the same person for 25 years and I'm also still the same jaded person that I was before. Oh, I'm sorry. You know? And it's a great relationship. It's out of all the relationships I've seen out there, it's like the most compatible one I've ever seen. And it's still like I'm not blissfully happy all the time. I still have depression. I still have PTSD. I still have all the things. And he has to live with me. Poor soul. Almost called him something else. Not in a bad way, just in a cussy way. So that could happen. When you start to move on, the people that were feeding off of your good energy are going to swoop back in and be like, hey, can I get some more of that free juice? Please watch their actions more than you listen to their words. Also, if you do let them back in, boundaries, baby. You have to set them before. Like, okay, if I give you a second chance, this needs to happen, or this needs to never happen again. If either of those things are violated, it's over and done. I will never be blank, blank, blank for you again. Okay. and then hold to that when they screw up, because a lot of them will. And beware of anyone that either kicks you to the curb or does something terrible to the point where you have to kick them to the curb. You finally start moving on with your life after like having some heartache over them, and then they come swooping back in just when you're starting to feel better. And I can't tell you what a head trip that gives people, because you probably already know what a head trip it gives people, right? You think everything, like, now here you are. Now I got to second guess all the stuff that I was going to do, because I don't know if maybe I'm going to miss out on something cool with you if I still tell you where to go, right? And that's why you have to lay down those boundaries, if you even take them back at all, right? Generally, you'll know if you need to take them back at all when you set those boundaries. If they're like, yeah, absolutely, let's try it, then that's a little more encouraging than them being like, I don't understand. Like, but I didn't do anything. This was all your problem, that kind of thing. Yikes. Know your truth, because your truth is real, okay? And please consider that before you hop back in with somebody that's already done you dirty, okay? For those of you who are moving on from this situation, you're going to get a new, more compatible partner. If this was a breakup, you're going to maybe find a better friend. The Two of Cups is always about equal partnership and like having a great deal together, okay? So I'm not saying that this can't come back into your life and be better this time, but there's a lot of work on that person's part if they already did you dirty. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Okay. But yeah, good things coming in for, it's going to feel good, the Two of Cups energy, even if that person is trying to swindle you. So beware of that. But like, you're the one in control. You're the one that's going to make this decision. So for some of you, it's going to feel very easy, very emotionally compatible, very wonderful. For some of you, it's just going to be a new person that comes in to your life. So if this is a new person from this person over here, beware of that person coming back and trying to ruin this for you, because they might, right? No one's going to do anything you don't allow them to do. But that is something that pops up all the time. Anytime I've set boundaries with somebody or stopped talking or whatever, they always come back. And like, they never just come back real, like, hey, I feel like things got messed up between us and I want to work it out. Nobody ever does that. It's like, I'm just swooping back in and going to pretend like nothing ever happened. Like, yeah, that's not going to work for me, because like, I have some stuff I got to talk about, and you're not the person I thought you were anymore, right? It's like, I feel that conversation coming up for some of you for sure in that 3-month mark. This is October. Some of you might be getting married in October if you're already in a relationship at this point. I see some October fall weddings going on. In that particular instance, I don't feel like this whole reading has been about that. I feel like this is just a side bonus, and that this has mostly been about your travel and finding yourself in your career, which makes me super happy for you, because it means you're not focusing solely on this for your happiness. Because like I've said a million times, you can be blissfully happy with the same person for 25 years and still have your demons, my friends. And then considering the fact that when you're with somebody for 25 years, like, you're going to hurt each other more than anybody else because you're that close, right? And so it cuts deeper when somebody does something messed up. And then you feel guiltier if you're the one that did it, etc. and so forth. So that's why I'm it's like when people like win the lottery, they're like, it's not so great. It's like they aren't grateful to have the money, and it's not like I'm not grateful to have my relationship, but like, it's not going to fix everything. And so that's why I get so jaded about that. But good things coming in relationship wise. Some of you, this isn't even related. Like, this might have been a friendship situation, or just, somebody that you're totally over by the time this new person comes in. But this feels good, like good, compatible, equal, emotionally equal. I try to stay away from soulmates and twin flames, because I feel like that limits you to like one person. And then if something happens to them, it's like, oh, it's all over. And that's also not true. So that's why I don't use soulmates. And I believe in soulmates. I just believe that your soul connects to a lot of different souls in a lot of different ways. It's not all romance, and there's not just one person out there for you. All right. For some of you, speaking of careers, this could be a partnership that comes up, making a deal with somebody. You've been doing such good work up to this point. So this could be like somebody offering you something, going in halvesies on something, finding a home, settling down. So for some of you, this might be like where the traveling starts to like go more towards like home base. This could be like finding someone to go with you on your travels. Could be just someone that you only see once a year, but that's like enough, you know, like for both of you. Just make sure it's good for both of you. That's the main thing with relationships. It's like if one's okay and the other one's not, then it's not a good relationship. Yeah. Okay, moving on from October. Let me know if you get married in October, though. Congratulations if you are. You grossertons. I got married in November. It was pretty gross. Okay, we have for November, 4 of Pentacles. So there might be some saving of some money, especially if you just got married. Saving money if you just got proposed to and you're like, you move in or you just moved in together and now you're going to save money for the wedding. I see you saving money during the month of November. Maybe you're saving up for the holidays again, as they will be right around the corner any day now. Isn't it crazy that I'm doing this big, long, like year-long reading, and in 2 seconds, it's going to be next year? If you don't understand that, you're very young still, and congratulations. Enjoy the years seeming longer. Like, I have movies that I watch for the seasons. Like, I'm still in my winter Christmas movie season collection. And I don't know what I was going to say about that because I got a call. It probably wasn't important anyway. Moving on. Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. I like to watch movies for the seasons, and like there's movies coming up for the winter season that I'm like, it's already time to watch. Or series that I like to rewatch. It's time to rewatch Nurse Jackie again. I don't know if I'm ready. I feel like I just watched that already and cried my eyes out. Oh my gosh, if you ever want to watch a show that really gives you an accurate representation of what addiction can do to a person, watch Nurse Jackie. It's so good. So, man, I wish I could make this just look a little bit. Ah, there we go. Maybe that looks better. All right, we'll just zoom in from there. And I wonder if I... Hang on, I'm going to pause again. Okay, that's a little better. Hopefully that cleared it up for you. It looks a lot clearer on my end. Oh, I just commiserate with me about how awful my camera stuff has been, because it's awful. Okay. But yeah, saving your money, making plans. Your guides want you to know that you have protection during this time over the things you care about. You might be thinking about doing some add-ons to all that business venture stuff you've been doing all year. Yeah, I keep hearing add-ons, adding things on, okay, and saving your money for those add-ons. All right, let's look at December. 7 of Pentacles. Notice how she's like asleep. And she has like, I know it looks like death, but it's just like a scarecrow that she has watching over her little crops, right? Her little crop of cucumbers that grow perfectly sliced. Oh, hey, makes sense in my world. In the land of cucumber slices. I mean, it's not like people grow sand dollars on trees either. I mean, come on. Anyway, this shows you like patiently waiting for the fruits of your labor to take form, maybe taking a little break while you let things develop, and that's totally great. I'm not getting the sense of delay in like things being held up or not flourishing in time. I feel like this is actually very much needed time on your part to rest and let things develop that you've set into motion in December. So I see you kind of taking it easy during the holidays, especially between like Thanksgiving and New Year, okay? And just actually letting the universe do what it needs to do for you. Okay, let's get some clarifiers and then I'll let you get out of here. We have Nine of Wands. Do not sacrifice anything that you're not willing to part with, including your dignity, including your values, including your time and your body and your relationship status. I'm really warning those people that might have an ex try to come back after doing them dirty. Okay, that was for them. For the rest of you, I feel like just, yeah, like relax. You've done so much at this point. This is a huge year for you. And so just don't do more, don't take on more than you can handle. The Hanged Man in reverse. And the Hermit. This is your guides saying that there are times during this year where you're going to need to withdraw to get yourself back on track, like especially in that August, September area where people are not being nice people, that you will pull yourself in and find yourself again. So like I see you withdrawing from social situations so that you can get your head on straight, so you can see things for how they are. And that's exactly what your guides are suggesting that you do anyway. So do that. And with that, I shall leave you. But man, you're going to be making pretty good wages this year, it looks like, and traveling a lot and learning a lot about yourself, and maybe even falling in love and getting married. That's a huge year for a lot of you. So even if you just take one of those things, it's huge. So with that, I shall leave ya. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. My friends, Happy New Year, finally. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye. Hello, group 3. So if you picked the little blue, I don't know what it is, guys. It's not sodalite. It's not lapis. It's something that starts with a K, like kyanite or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody tell me what it is in the comments. I need to get one of those like rock identifiers, but like they never work because I'll like use it on something that's an actual rock that I know what it is. And it's like, that's not what that is. I'm like, okay, you're not accurate. Like you should be able to tell what an amethyst is. Phone app. All right. I'm a little surly today because this is the 19th time I've been trying to do this 2025 timeless kind of year ahead, whatever, reading for you, and stuff keeps not working. Part of it is my awful camera on this brand new phone that cost more than a down payment on a friggin' car should cost. And bleh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work the way I want it to. So then you download an app and then it doesn't work. So I'm feeling very surly and snarky and cynical about life today. So hopefully you guys have a good year, because otherwise it's going to turn into a very angry rant. Luckily, the last 2 groups that I redid just now basically got the exact same readings that they got before. So, which is crazy because I was like live shuffling the tarot cards for these, and so yeah, and I live shuffled these too. I was thinking the other video that I used, I must have kept the same card combinations, but that is not true. I used different decks and everything. Weird. So we're still getting the same messages from your guides. That's a wonderful thing, because stuff keeps falling apart and I'm about to lose my mind. So let's see what's coming towards you in the new year, my friends. Gross. I just saw the word kiss and I got gross. A distant kiss in a prayer flag. What? I'm sorry. You can tell I don't read these ahead of time. I wish of all wishes that you were here through sunlight and rain. I need you near. Oh, gross, you guys. Come on. Okay, let me gather myself up, because clearly we're dealing with lovebirds here. No. Okay, first off, take a step back and admit that you're gross. Oh, and let's move on. All right. I feel long distance love relationship issues, obviously. Maybe one of you is moving away. Maybe one of you is being deployed to some other where. Maybe you're the couples of group number 2. I don't know. Maybe you're still group number 2, but you're looking to see how your relationships go and you do all the traveling you're about to do. But I feel like a long distance relationship big time for this year ahead for you. And I see you very much still loving them with all your heart as much as you would if they were here with you. So I definitely see people trying to work this out, like make it work, the long distance thing. Let's see. If you hear a voice in the background, that's just my life mate. He's making a phone call. Anything that you hear in the background is him. Because it's taking me so long to do these videos. I can't get anything done. Okay, so anyway. Can you just feel the frustration coming off me in waves? It's so thick. Okay. And not thick in a good way. So for those of you that this isn't romantic, which I'm not picking up on much, it could be like, I heard somebody's dad might be gone somewhere. Like maybe you're really close to your father, even though you're an adult, because it's an adult channel, right, kids? That maybe your dad is moving somewhere, or like a very important like male figure in your life is moving somewhere. And then for the couples, it could be either gender. Okay. Other things, spirits, or is this just what we're going with right now? Oh, some of you could be moving yourselves away from those that you care about, and like you're holding them very close in your heart and will be for the entire year. I don't feel like distance is going to change anything for you. Okay. I'm not going to speak to the actions of others yet because we haven't gotten into the month by month reading part yet, but it does seem as though, you know, your heart is fixed where it is for this year, unless there's like a major shift that happens throughout the month. This is at least where you're going to start at, right? Your energy is this. So what else, Spirit, would be distance besides people? Oh, I just heard like for some of you, oh no, why do I, that maybe like you're sharing custody and there's a long distance situation, and this could be custody of a child or a pet. Regardless of whichever it is, it's like if it's your kid or if it's your pet, it's like it doesn't matter. Like the love is the same feeling that I'm getting. It's like you might be one of those people that think of your pets as your kids. And people can argue with me all day long if they want that. The love feels the same, whether this is a pet or a child. And so I feel that for some of you, like some of you might be dealing with that kind of a hardship this year of like having somebody be further away. Oh, I just also heard kids leaving for college, kids moving out, kids, you know, getting their lives in order for adulthood and possibly feeling a pang there, but like knowing that like it's not going to change your love if they're a million miles away. It's still going to be the same for you. So that's a big to-do for your energy. It's definitely what's in your headspace right now. Let's look at your sacred symbol sigil for the year. We have the elements. The elements of fire, air, earth, and water combine to create powerful protective boundaries, spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional. So I see you all, if you're going to be separated from somebody you care about and you still love them just as much, like I see you even like taking every step you can to make sure that things are preserved properly, that the relationship endures. Some of you might even be like working with the elements in magic to try to like add protection to your people, add protection to your relationship. This is going to be such a short reading compared to the other two because I'm only getting one storyline here. Like lots of different types of long distance relationships, but it's the distance thing that seems to be on your mind. I also see that if this is like an empty nest situation, like a kid leaving or just not having the same bustling around your house that you're used to, that possibly you could be taking on like elemental magic as like some kind of a hobby. Studying up on things more. I keep hearing like holistic health, like maybe you're maybe you're embarking on some kind of, working with the earth to heal things, working with the earth to even use for your beauty products as opposed to like slathering chemicals all over you. I've been trying to do that. It's really hard. Like part of it's necessity, but because I'm so allergic to everything, but at the same time, it's just hard to find anything that doesn't have stuff in it that probably no one should have in or on their bodies. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, working with the elements, working with your environment, working with nature is a way for you to protect yourself, to grow, to evolve. I'm also seeing like you setting boundaries in every area of your life this year. I feel like that's newish for some. I feel like there's a lot of self-sacrificing people in this group. Maybe some people pleasers. And like, don't get me wrong, you're doing it because you're like a nice, good person. But at the same time, I see you setting boundaries and protecting yourself, which also could be part of why there's a distance happening, like because you're maybe pulling in towards yourself. Oh, I'm also getting a message from your guides that this is a message for some of a spirit coming through, a loved one that has passed, maybe recently, maybe not, but just somebody you feel very close to, is saying that there's no distance between you, even the distance of death, right? That they still see you, that they still exist, that they're okay. So if you lost somebody recently, definitely a message for those of you, but it could be somebody from, more distant past that you just think about all the time. I heard somebody's brother in there somewhere, but it could be a lot more than just that. Okay, let's look and see what's going to open up to you by the end of the year. Well, there it is. Ooh, I knew somebody was going to get this cool white heavenly looking door. I like it. Okay, right off the bat, when we were talking about past loved ones, I feel like your loved ones are showing you heaven or some representation of heaven, or what you think of as heaven, and the positive afterlife area. You have good afterlife area, bad afterlife area, right? They're in the good afterlife area. So that's nice. Like I see, they're saying it's infinite. There's no end. There's no death. Death is an illusion. I'm hearing that for some of you. So, let me know if that resonated for you. Sorry for your losses. But they're here with us, that's for sure. Wanting to give you lots of comfort and, know that they're preparing a place for you, as they say. That doesn't mean go find them today, y'all. Let nature take its course, please. All right, let's look and see what's going on. A moment's joy. Send through the hourglass, yet time could stand still. A moment lasts forever in the bliss of the heart's will. Okay, so I also see you... I don't feel like you're in a bad situation. I just feel like maybe, there's some like missing of people. There's some maybe... distance, obviously, between you and somebody you really care about, or somebodies you really care about. And so I see by the end of the year, you're really taking this shift into enjoying things in the now, enjoying things moment to moment. And then when the moments feel good, you really savor that moment and just stay in it. And that's a really healthy way to live your life. They've proven it's not healthy to future jump or like go back to the past constantly, that it's better to stay fixated where you are, because that's all we have anyway, right? We don't know what's going to happen in the future, and the past is already gone. So I see you adopting that philosophy over the course of this year due to things that are kind of out of your control, right? Like losing somebody or somebody being at a distance from you when you would prefer them be close to you. And so I see you like also with the element of, working with elements, of going with the flow of whatever life brings towards you and just enjoying the happy moments when they happen. So definitely the vibe that I'm getting with this crew, and I like you guys already, is that you understand, or at least you're going to understand by the end of this year, that There is no Hollywood happy ending for anyone. I am sorry, but it's true. Like, I still do it to myself. We always think, oh, I'm finally going to get a house and then I'll be happy. I'll finally get a partner and then I'll be happy. I'll finally, meet the perfect friends, get the perfect job, make the perfect amount of money, have the perfect health. And, life still just goes like this, up, down, good, bad, up, down. And then when it ends, usually we aren't ready, we don't feel like we finished everything we wanted to do, right? Some people get that luxury, but not a lot. Sometimes I feel like you just get so dang physically uncomfortable that you're like, yeah, it was enough. I'm done. We're good. I can move on now. I'm tired of this ride. Okay. That being said, I'm losing my light. Let's go ahead and get into your month by month prediction, all for the year ahead. I think I kept saying 2025 in the last one. It's supposed to be semi-timeless. Whatever. You guys can fire me if you want. Report me to the league of, magician-y types that keep us all under control. January, February, March, April, May, and June. Okay, we're set July up there. And August. I see September. Ugh. September. Hang on, you. This is December. October. November. Okay. And then once we get there, we'll have some clarifiers that I'll grab for us. Oh, there they are already. Nope, just kidding. Okay, and your clarifiers. So we shall sit those aside and just deal with the first 6 months first. All right, let's looky and see what's going to happen in January. King of Pentacles. So I feel like some of you are very much starting off the year in a very positive light. You see how it's like focusing in and out? It can't figure out what it wants to do. Oh, it makes me so mad. What's this? Oh, that's a zoom. No, I don't want to do that. Sorry. Okay. It's a new camera app and it's not working the way I want it to. So this is like you feeling very high and mighty during this time. I'm not like, oh, you got your nose in the air. It's not like that. King of Pentacles is very classy. But you're definitely enjoying the fruits of your success in January. I feel you being giving and generous in January. I feel like you'll be generous and giving to that person or persons that are far away from you right now and you're missing them and wanting to feel close to them. So I see you giving a lot to them in January. You might like send them lots of little gifts. Anytime you see something that reminds you of them, you might just grab it for them and mail it to them, even if it's not their birthday or, Christmas is over and you already got them a hoverboard, but you're going to get them something else now too because you love them so much. The person who bought the hoverboard is like, how did she know? I don't know. I still don't know. All right. But yeah, like feeling secure in your finances, feeling secure in your life, definitely feeling the little heartstrings being pulled with your person or persons being at a distance from you. For some, I'm also feeling that like possibly you're not separated yet. And I'm not saying separated, like you're separating and then you're going to get a divorce. I don't mean that. Like you just haven't separated from that person that's going to be at a distance or persons. And so I feel like for January, those who are still, that haven't gotten to that point yet are going to be doing a lot for the people that are going to soon be at a distance. Like, making little care packages for them or whatever, you know what you're doing. We're already 5 days into January because my stuff kept not recording, right? So you know what you're doing by now in January, don't you? You're doing nice things, being a nice person, being very giving, and enjoying your success for sure, because you do have a measure of success that's being shown here. So if you're like, that's not true. I'm down in the dumps. I'm destitute. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, I don't know if I'll have my phone still by the time February comes here. If money doesn't open up, then this isn't the group for you. It looks like this is like going to be, it's financially secure so far, but you've got like some things that you care about or people that you care about that aren't close to you or going away from you. not in a permanent sense, but just in a sense of like long distance relationship kind of sense. Whether it's romantic or platonic, blah, blah, blah. I already said all the stuff about how it could be kids and all that, didn't I? Yes. Okay. So moving along. February. Oh, good. Ace of Cups. So feeling very emotionally full. Feeling like things have worked out in your favor this month. If you are at a distance from somebody you care about by this point in the year, your guides are showing that your heart's going to be full, at least. For others, like they haven't gone yet, and so you're still very much being grateful that they're close and trying to like milk every last minute to the like fullest potential. February, you might do some nice things for them if you celebrate Valentine's Day. So gross. Ugh. All right. March. What am I looking at? Oh, Four of Wands in reverse. Okay. This is where the challenges have come up a little bit. Four of Wands in reverse means that you notice something that isn't stable that you thought would, or you notice something isn't stable when it needs to be. For some of you, this has something to do with your pets. So if this is a situation where the distance that's between you and your loved one is a pet situation, it's like something's going to come along. I don't see anything horrible, catastrophic happening to anybody, but like something's going to come along that you're like, I thought that was stable and it's not. It's like maybe the place you take them at the vet, they do something kind of questionable that you're like, I don't know if that's what I want from my veterinarians. It could be something like, I thought I was giving them the right medicine or feeding them the right food, but apparently I've been misinformed. Okay. It's not anything you can't recover from. It's just in March, you're going to notice something is off or unbalanced in some situation, and you're going to dedicate yourself to getting it back into a good balance. And so that could be equal measures of communication and personal study, getting information for yourself. I'm not getting breakup vibes from it. But if it's like a long distance relationship, like something could come along in March that makes you feel less secure in your union with your person. Like maybe they post a picture and they're hanging out with some new friends and one of them's really, really good looking. And you're like, dang it, why are you hanging out with that person? And why do they get to be around you when I'm 3,000 miles away? That kind of thing could happen for some of you, especially if it's a romance situation. I'm getting some FOMO vibes. For those of you that don't know what FOMO is, it's fear of missing out. It's like seeing somebody at the distance being giddy and living their life, to the fullest, makes you feel like you got kind of like left behind. Could be part of what feels unbalanced. Maybe they don't look as sad as you feel. Those kinds of issues are what are coming up. They're not super serious issues in any of the scenarios that I'm seeing in my brain. But it feels like to you, it is going to feel a bit threatening or a bit, what's happening here, kind of situation. So as always with Four of Wands in reverse, pay attention to your surroundings, pay attention to who you've let into your world. Pay attention to the person's surroundings that you care about who is away from you, or the person who has your pets, or the people that have your kids. Did I cover all those scenarios pretty well? But yeah, this card is about like just kind of looking at your surroundings and saying, what looks off? What's out of balance? Like if it's a relationship thing, is the out of balance situation like them always being the one that just waits for you to call and then you finally call and they're always seem happy to hear from you, but like they never call you first and you start feeling like you're like half a stalker. Or like, would we even still know each other if like I just stopped calling, right? And so that might be something to communicate. That might be something to, and I'm not saying play head games and just ghost people and see if they come chasing after you. That's not healthy. But maybe waiting for a while and seeing if they do call. And if they don't, that might be something to explore with them the next time you call them. What else? It's something about, this is specific for someone, that possibly what might feel out of balance is that maybe you're like overeating or over drinking or over smoking in some way, over edibling to the point where you feel like maybe it's like not out of control, but like you're just like, maybe I should rein that in a little. It feels a little unbalanced. Oh, excuse me. Okay. So that's happening in March. April. So in April, I see some of you really being social, having fun with some friends. For some of you, you're going to make some new friends in April that feel very like fast friends, right? Like you meet each other and it's like you just instantly feel comfortable and just want to hang out forever. And your personalities morph into each other and then you start dressing like each other. I'm just kidding. Maybe. Am I kidding? I don't know. Are you kidding? Anyway, I feel like for some of you as well, if this is a relationship, romantic situation, some of you, the thing that feels off is going to be a third party situation. I'm not feeling like anyone is actually getting cheated on, but that's what feels off to you, is like, I'm feeling like I'm not numero uno on your people that I date list somehow, right? And then I see you hanging out with these other people when you barely have time to even answer my calls, kind of situation. And I feel you being like suspicious about third parties, like cheating, and who are they hanging out with? What's going on? That kind of energy coming in. Long distance is hard because you're not there. You can't see the situation. All you see is like a stupid post or a stupid comment, or somebody actually goes out of their way to like plant a seed of doubt in your mind about, oh, do you know what's really going on at home? That kind of thing. They think they're like looking out for you, but really they're just like tearing your world apart by putting doubts in your head, negative thoughts, that kind of deal. And so I see in some cases with that, especially if there is some kind of issue that comes to a head because of this, I see you confiding in very close friends that you can trust about what you should do about that person in the month of April. Let's look at May. We have Page of Pentacles, good news coming in May. Good. I felt like maybe this wasn't going to be that big of a thing. I just feel like that's like a couple of, like a month or two of some hurdles you're going to be going over. And I know it's like a month or two. I get it. It's not going to be the whole month that you're feeling like this is just one element of your year, right? In like one relationship or whatever that you're focused on. There's going to be good times too in March and April. There's just a lot of growth happening and a lot of reflecting going on. And I feel like because of the work you're doing on those 2 months, that's going to bring you to that Page of Pentacles energy where the answer or the good news or whatever actually flows in towards you. You're able to understand it, trust it, and accept it. Understand, trust, accept. I don't know. More because of the work that you went through over here. So good news coming in May. It could be like this person starts opening up and communicating more. It could be that you find that balance that you were missing. You get the message somehow of like what you need to do to make things better. So that's good. Let's take a look at June. Whoa, Nikki. Oh, she's actually not Nikki. All of her naughty bits are covered, which is odd. It's like she's missing some parts the way that she's drawn, but we'll still cover up just in case you feel uncomfortable. Trust your intuition in June. There's some things, I feel like even with this good news coming in, that this kind of energy might still make you feel like you're nervous about what you can't see. You're nervous about the future. You're not sure of the future, and you're not sure, maybe in some cases, who you can trust or talk to. And so your guides are saying very much to trust your intuition in June. Focus on your guides. Ask your guides and set your intentions for knowing the truth and finding the truth, etc. And having illumination in areas where you cannot see it. Moving along now. July. Okay, July, we have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is one of the marriage cards. It's also a card of learning and growing. It also could just be about finding a person in your life that has the same value system as you. It could be you teaching somebody something. What else? Getting the keys to something, making an epiphany of some kind, learning something that's important to your situation in a way that helps you move forward. I'm not getting a ton of specifics. Is that a little snake? It is a little snake. Snakes are also about transformation and information and knowledge and all that good stuff. So there's also good information coming in for you on July. There's being very cryptic on what it is specifically. All right, we'll move on to August and June, July, August. June, July, August. Okay, thank you. Truth coming out in August. So anything you're wondering about, any doubts that you've had, you're going to have your clarity in August across the board. And you're going to handle the knowledge that you have with integrity. You're going to speak your truth. You're going to hold your ground. Don't worry, I don't see a lot of conflict coming forward. It just seems as though in August you kind of figure out what's going on. And you're able to move forward with that knowledge of the truth in August. This could be a truth you learn about someone that's far away from you. It could be truth that you learn about yourself. It could be truth that you speak. But you're definitely acting with integrity in August, but yet holding your ground. Okay. August. Interesting. They're getting so vague for the last 6 months. Oh, there's some naked people. I'm running out of things to cover these people with. All right, we have Queen of Pentacles for September. Queen of Pentacles is very close to the same energy as the King of Pentacles. It's like you giving, you being content, showing off, not showing off, but, you know, showing your class. And I don't mean like your class system. I mean like being classy, okay? And I see some luck coming in with this little rabbit. Good money coming in if you're worried about money. And being recognized for your giving nature. I don't want to say that. Okay, somebody's going to get to see you naked in September. So, and they're going to like what they see. Congratulations. That's so gross, you guys. Somebody's going to like you in your birthday suit. Oh, congratulations. Some of you are going to get lucky in September. Maybe you get to see your person. If it's a long distance romance, right? Somebody thinks you're a class A person, though. They very much admire you. So whether that's your person long distance or some other people's, that's out there. Good for you. Okay. September, October, we have 5 of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles is very much about fear of poverty. It can also be about fear of abandonment. But it's just fear. It's not something that actually is happening. And so if you start feeling insecure about the distance between you and the people you care about in this reading, this card says that you need to look around you again. So like, remember the Four of Wands was saying, look around you, see what's happening, see what feels off. This is like, look around you, what's working? What do you see that's helping you? Because they're in this dire situation, and then there's all their little cucumbers inside their tree, in the little cucumber tree. I know they're not cucumbers. All right. Gosh, can I just call them that anyway? Look at that giant cucumber she has. All right. Slap, slap. Get serious. But there's like salvation right there. Like, I literally feel like the characters in this card, whenever I get this card, are they're right about to, you're right about to see the truth. That it's not anything bad. So don't do any rash actions, right? Don't, you know, burn any bridges, because this is a fear that's coming in October. It's not a reality. It could just be something with your finances where you're like, oh no, I have to get a tooth implant and it's going to cost me $4,000. What am I going to do? I don't have it. You know, it's, your guides are saying that you've got options with this card. It's not as bad as you think it is. And so anything that comes along that gives you fear of rejection, fear of poverty, fear of, I don't know, I always worry that I'm not going to be able to support myself and I'm just going to starve in the streets like the little match girl, just freeze to death while people are tripping over me, not giving two cruddy cruds that I'm there and I was a person. I feel that. And that's not going to happen. That's an irrational fear that you have. I don't know if you're actually fearing that. That was just me giving you an example from my own weird neuroses. But you're going to be okay. So October, I see you being a little bit worried, but remember, it's a feeling. It's not an actual reality. And as long as you go through that month with that energy, you should be fine. Let's look at November. Seven of Swords. Okay, so Seven of Swords can mean like infidelity. It can mean somebody not paying, you know, not being totally truthful with you. I'm not getting that as strongly as I'm getting the meaning of the card of like hanging on to stuff that you care about too tightly to the point where it can cause harm. Okay, so if this is about like your kids being away, this month might be a challenge for you because maybe they're spending, you know, Thanksgiving with their other parent and you're not going to get to go and you're not going to be with them for the first time. That kind of energy is what I'm getting. And their guides are saying that you need to be able to let go of things and accept them for how they are. And, you know, to hang on to something too tightly can cause you injury, whether that's emotional or physical. I feel like it's emotional, you know, but if you find yourself come November hanging on to something really tight and you're like, ah, it's starting to hurt physically, maybe let it go. Maybe take that message too. But yeah, I'm really not seeing infidelity. I'm really not seeing, but I'm seeing worry over that. I'm seeing people getting hung up on that idea of like, well, you're not here with me, so what else would you be doing? That's what people do. And it's hard when you've seen people do that over and over again your whole life. It's also harder, it gets even harder when it happens to you. And then you have to try to trust people later. And it's hard. It's really hard. So the main message of that is to try to let go of the things you don't have control over and let the universe take over. And that will cause you less pain and cuts. If she were to let go of all those swords she's clutching, she would have more dexterity to be able to deal with the wolf that's behind her. Don't worry, I don't think that's actually a thing for anyone. But B, you know, she's not holding so much to the point where she's going to cut herself, right? And so that's also like a message here is like, don't take on so much mental, emotional, whatever, to the point where you start to feel harmed. Boy. Okay. moving right along. Let's see. December. Seven of Cups. Lots of options opening up. Lots of emotions flying around. Choices that need to be made and like feeling maybe a little overwhelmed. This is also one of the cards that I associate with overindulgence of certain beverages or substances or foodies. So if you have an issue with one of those, that could rear its little head in December. I feel like the holidays are kind of going to be a bit of a trigger for some of you, and it could be because you're at a distance with some people. Oh, I'm so sorry. Ugh. Oh, any sympathetic yawners out there, like, stop it. See, like, I don't get that. Like, when I see somebody yawn and I yawn too, I don't get mad at them. Like, it's so funny that people are like, stop doing that, you're making me yawn. Interesting. That's kind of like taking other people's stuff and making it about you. Which we all do in certain respect. Anyway, like holding people responsible for how you feel. Yeah. Okay. The thing with this energy is to just not get overwhelmed. Look at one cup at a time kind of situation. You know, remove any denial or fog that you have around your brain and like try to look at things for what they really are. Because I feel like by this point, by the holidays, you're starting to feel like, I don't know if I can do this. Okay. And so far you've been rocking it pretty much up to here. So it's like, I feel like the distance, if it goes the whole year like this, that's kind of where you're having your trouble. Oh, I'm so sorry. Feeling like you, I don't know. Oh, goodness gracious, I cannot use my brain. I'm getting hungry. That's the problem. Are you hungry? You should eat after this too. Because I think you're hungry too. Like, I feel like the holidays are going to be different for a lot of you this year because of that distance. And it's going to make a lot of you feel like hanging on to what's in the past, worrying about what's coming from the future, and not being in the present. So what your guys are suggesting you do for that particular, especially the holidays of this coming year, your guys are really saying that that's the time to lean in to them, okay? And to try to learn how to create new joy in the absence of whatever routine you had before during the holidays. So, for example, you know, if your kids all move out and you're so sad that you don't have happy Christmas with all your kids and they all open their little presents and you get to watch them all open their little presents and none of them are little anymore. They're all out, like, you know, having intercourse and drinking God knows what else. That you maybe decide to, you know, get a bunch of little like toys and go to a local, you know, burn ward or, you know, an area of the hospital where there's kids, and you go in and play Santa one day and give them all a bunch of presents. You go down to the animal shelter and like play with the kittens and help socialize them, or bring them a bunch of catnip. I don't know. Finding new little traditions to help fill like what feels like a void to you, right? It makes change easier if we create new traditions and new ways to find joy. So that's definitely coming in for this group. All right. I have 2 clarifiers for you for the year. Well, they came out reverse, so I'm going to take them that way. We have 9 of Swords in reverse, which is great. Judgment in reverse is a little different. I'm like, what does it mean? So let's start with 9 of Swords in reverse. This is you letting go of fear, which is great. Sleeping better, which is even more awesome. Letting go of those things that you don't have control over. So you're doing that part very, very well. I feel like with the Judgment card, oh, what do I want to say about that? I mean, the Judgment card reversed. it's like you're not quite sure of what your purpose is, or what your purpose in all of this is, or what was the point of all this distance? What's the, what was the point of all that fear that I didn't need to carry? It's like a reevaluation of the judgments you've made, or the thoughts that were like in your brain throughout the year. So, Okay. And it's also a card about kind of like, it's kind of about like holding yourself back from something that needs to happen. But I feel like you're working through it because of this energy here. I want to get one more card, just to round this off for us. Seven of Wands. Yes, you will overcome the challenges that face you this year. You just need to step into them. So I feel like this is a card of hesitation. Like you're doing better, you're making your progress, but there's like still something that's holding you back. Like you're not sure what the point is, or you're not sure what the main goal is and the main move to make is. And your guides are saying as long as you take action towards anything that's challenging you, you will be victorious. And for that, I shall leave you with that. If this is helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. Happy New Year. We'll see you in the next one. Blah, 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 blah. Last but not least, group 4. If I sound frustrated, it's because, oh my word, I've never had a harder time making a video than I have the year ahead. It's just like different rooms, different lighting, terrible camera app, terrible lighting on the camera app. It's just unreal. And so it's dark outside. I am just trying to get this done. This is my second time doing this full year reading, which takes a really long time. And yeah, I'm just getting really frustrated. So some of you might be feeling frustrated today when you watch this. You picked the cute little pretty, I don't know what it is. It's like a shell or mother of pearl. I don't know. Somebody tell me what it is in the description box. I don't care. Anyway, let's look at your door and see what is coming through to you for the new year. We have palmistry. Well, that's very specific. Fortune and tarot, collective destiny. The palm lines from birth tell your sacred palmistry. Listen to the notes of intuition. Hopefully you can see that. My camera's up so high I can't see it. So I'm just kind of holding it up blindly like, can you see? So palmistry, fortune and tarot. Collective destiny. The palm lines from birth tell your sacred palmistry. So some of you are becoming some kind, like you're studying palmistry. You are possibly studying some kind of other divination practice. Some of you might be learning that you have that ability. More and more people are becoming aware of that as more and more of us start, coming out of the woodwork like we have been. We all seem like such normal people because we are. And like, I think a lot of people start realizing maybe those things that I just counted about myself or second guessed or explained away with logic is actually me being all powerful and junk. And that is true. So that door is opening for you. Third eye opening up kind of energy for the year. Some of you actually are learning how to read palms. Here is mine. Tell me my future. I do not read palms. I need more storylines than what I'm seeing here, right? Like there's lots more in cards and in just like my own visions than there are on the palm of somebody's hand. I just don't get feelings that way from that. But that could be something you're looking into. I just heard numerology as well. So yeah, lots of esoteric practice coming in through you or to you for the new year. What else? I talked about the palm lines from birth. So that is a specific message to you in this group, all of you, to even if you're not a palm reader, your guides have a special thing to tell you about the lines that you've had on your hand since birth. Now, I don't know. I'd be hard pressed to tell you which lines have shown up as I got older and which ones have not. I know this line has gone so far into here that I'm like, if that's my lifeline, good grief, this is never going to end. Which I don't, it's not like I have qualms about having a long life. It's just like a long life when you're sick all the time is kind of like, ugh, you know, like more suffering. Good job. But yeah, there's something about maybe your birth line. I don't know enough about palmistry to tell you, but like, I think your guides are saying to get your palm read or to figure out how to read your own palm. And I hate saying the word palm. I just, yeah. Okay. It's like qualm. I can't say that either. Ooh, wishes come true for your sacred symbol and sigil energy. We have rapid achievement of your dreams and wishes. So some of you, as you embark on this little magic-y journey of esoteric findings, are going to start making your wishes come through using magic, manifestation, power of positive thought, whatever you want to call it. And it's going to start making your dreams and wishes come true this year. So you're going to have some wish fulfillment this year. That could be simple little things. It could be big, huge, happy things. It just depends on each individual person. So let's go ahead and get you another door for the end of the year, like what you're going to be, where you're going to be at the end of the year. Okay. Now it's like a little gate. Oh, headed to another door. I see an arch. Okay, let's see what's going on. A note on love. Oh, gross. Okay. Seek different. I cannot read these and show them to you at the same time. Seek different seasons and enter into the unknown when love is the focus, foundation, and goal. Blessed is the body, mind, and soul. Seek different seasons and enter into the unknown. When love is the focus, foundation, and goal. When love is the focus, foundation, and goal, blessed is the body, mind, and soul. Okay, I got it now. So, thank God this actually isn't giving me love vibes, like romance vibes. That might pop up because we are looking at the entire year. But what I'm getting with this is that through these esoteric spiritual lessons that you are individually embarking on, your guides are saying that if you lead with love in any of these practices that you do, you can't go wrong. That leads me to think about, you know, people are, especially like Western people. I'm only saying Western people because I am a Western person. They do this thing where it's like held over fear from times long ago, where people are like, are you a witch? Oh, let's kill them all in case they are, you know, even if we're related to them. It's like, I feel like there's like a certain amount of at least cautionary things that people say to you, like, be careful what you do. You might invite something in. I love it when people say that as if we don't consider that ourselves before we start practicing. And so I'm feeling like you might have people like that in your ear, even if they're not physically saying those things to you. It could be something from your past, like, you know, like past religious experiences where they were like, this stuff is evil, it's going to let Satan into your house, right? I feel like that's kind of a hang up for some of you, not all. And so like you feel kind of like maybe you're doing something bad when you're doing this stuff. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not doing anything bad. If you kind of like equate it to whatever belief systems you think are not taboo, like most people don't think it's weird or hokey to pray, right? They're still doing the exact same thing that you would be doing if you did a spell. They're asking the universe, their creator, their own mind, their own, you know, abilities to get their mind in the right spot to like make positive things happen for themselves. through, you know, positivity of some kind, through some kind of spiritual practice. And when I think about it that way, that kind of helped me with like I called them the Christian guilties because I was raised Christian. I still have no problem with Christians. I know a lot of Christians that have no problem with me. But there's that little, you know, oh, you better be careful. You're going to invite something in and yada yada, and then it's going to possess your body and you're going to become a slave to Satan. And so like I spent like, I think it was the first several years that I studied esoteric anything before I ever did like a spell or a meditation to try to change anything or trying to protect anything, because I was so scared I was going to let something loose and do something bad. And the thing that sucks about that whole idea or that notion that people have, that's what's going to happen if you meddle, right? Explore these things. It messes up your intention, and intention is all of it. If you set your intention, then that's what you're attracting to you. So if you're coming into it like, oh, I'm scared I'm gonna let Satan in, well, then all those little like, you know, dregs of the other world are kind of hovering around going, yeah, get fearful of that. That makes us nice and full, right? That gives us that's what gives them a way in, right? If you're going through it with an open heart and saying, no, my intentions are to do this. My intentions are to heal. My intentions are to get information so I can live my life more to what my creator would want, blah, blah, blah. That is a good intended thing. If your intentions are good, then you're putting good out there. Okay? It's not like you're out driving a car and your intentions are good and then you accidentally run into somebody. It doesn't work like that. At least not in my experience. So the first thing I'm hearing with this is to let go of your fear and remember that as long as you're leading with love, that is all that matters. That is all that counts. And it's the most positive way to do it, because then you're just attracting love and positivity back to you, as opposed to like fear and, you know, icky feelings. Okay. So that's coming in first. I'm also hearing that like, if you're trying to figure out what you can do with magic or whatever you want to call it in a way that's never going to harm somebody, you just set your intention to that. I don't ever want to cause harm. Even if I'm angry, even if I have a negative thought, those things will not manifest because I do not give them permission to. It's that simple. Seriously. I know. And it seems like it's too easy. I know. That's what's hard about it. It's that it's just your own mind, right? It's like that movie, The Matrix. I only saw the first one several times. The other two, I watched them once and was like, ooh, disappointing. But their whole deal was like, you know, they did everything with the power of their mind because that's all they had left, right? Because their bodies were not in the place that they thought they were, right? Oh, spoil the Matrix. They're using us for batteries. What? Yes. So your own beliefs make your own limitations. And so your guides are saying, notice how this door is shut, but this one is open. They're saying that with that love and the good intentions, you're opening all the door to the good things. You're not letting in anything bad. Nothing bad's going to happen. You're actually going to get wishes coming true this year. So that is awesome. Let's go ahead and take a look at your month to month. You guys are going to be shorter than pile 2, that's for sure. I have like 18 different storylines in this. You and pile 3 only have one storyline. It's like your guides know I'm going to be tired by then. Although I've had a nice long break before this one. It's been like I started doing this. I was so proud of myself that I did like videos 1 and 2 because I knew they were going to be longer readings because it's the whole year, right? And I'm a talker. I was like, I'm going to start on New Year's Eve and try to get it out by then. Well, New Year's Eve is crazy for calls and I was on call the whole time. So I had to keep stopping and taking calls. Not that I'm not grateful for the calls. It was a very lucrative night, but then I was behind. I ran out of light. So I was able to get 2 piles done and they were both very long. And then I tried to upload them so that I would take care of my future self. I got them all uploaded into my computer so that I could just merge them all when the others were done, and they just wouldn't merge. My gosh, I tried forever. It's all because of my stupid new phone with its useless camera. Ugh. Like right now, this all looks great to me through the lens. As soon as I put it on something, it's going to look awful to me, and I'm going to be so mad about it. Okay. Spirit, let's get some month by month cards for group number 4. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and a clarifier. We're going to sit these over here for now. I'm going to get you a couple more clarifiers just in case we need them at the end. We're going to start with the first 6 months of the Yah. We have the High Priestess for January. Yeah, that's all about intuition, right? I think that so many of you are embarking on this because something happened. You saw something come true, or you predicted something accurately, or you made something happen with simply the power of your mind. That is the kind of energy that I'm getting from this group right now. So, oh, and look, it says tarot on the little scroll. So some of you might be embarking on some tarot, because I said tarot on this one as well, even though they also talked about palmistry. And so, yeah, January is very much, I feel like, you gathering information. I feel like you're going to pull a me like I did and not just dive head for like, I'm going to see what I can do. Like I have a friend that, you know, is like an atheist, but they've listened to me talk so much that they finally were like, maybe I should try some things. And like the first thing they tried was like cursing somebody. Hang on. Anyway, she cursed somebody and, you know, things didn't go well for that other person. And like, she was like, she called me and was like, did I do that? And I was like, maybe, you know. So I don't see you doing it quite that way. I see you studying, seeing what other people say, finding out which one feels best to you, probably maybe tarot, right? Being very responsible about it. And that's wonderful. Your guides love that about you. I love that about you. So all through January, I see you really just kind of gathering your thoughts, gathering information, really sinking into that idea of like, I'm an intuitive, magical being, and I'm going to make my wishes come true this year with magic or good stuffs, positive thought, whatever you want to call it. So lots of studying up in January. As far as like career, romance, or anything that goes there, I feel like this is very much the focus right now. So we're just going to stick with that until your guides show me something different. Surely, you know, this isn't going to be the only thing that happens to you this year, but they are, with these readings, I've noticed like focusing on one big point with the doors that are opening and just kind of going with that. I was kind of hoping for more of like an all encompassing deal, but we'll see. We will see. So what happens in February? We have a Nikki lady. Nope, she's covered. Barely, but she is covered. So we have the World in reverse for February. So that to me is saying, sorry, I hit the wrong button. So the World in reverse, like the World upright is talking about like things ending or coming to a close the way they need to kind of deal. And like, I interpret the world differently with every reading, I swear. But in this particular instance, I'm getting this feeling that in February, the opposite of what your expectations are is what's going to happen. And I don't feel like it's going to happen in a bad way. Like, I feel like maybe you're thinking like, oh, it won't really work that much, right? Like something you're manifesting might not work that well. Maybe it'll work a little bit as far as making your mind feel better, but I don't think I can like, you know, turn water into wine. And the next thing you know, you're like, oh my gosh, my water's all whiny. See what I'm saying? It's like something coming along in the opposite way that you expect. It's kind of like irony. And like maybe you expected something bad to happen to you because you were, some of you were feeling like you were doing something naughty by like even studying this stuff, right? It's so interesting to me that like I could go out, you know, and get a book on Christianity or a book on Islam or a book on Judaism and have those sitting in my house, and most people would see it and just be like, oh, you like to learn things. But if I had like a grimoire or a you know, a book with like a pentacle star on it that said something like, you know, witchcraft for the solitary practitioner, people would go, oh, you know, like way more than they would the other things, right? And it's more of a societal, I feel like you are expecting maybe people to freak out and they don't. They actually end up being very supportive for some of you. I feel like for others, the manifestations themselves feel like they happen in the opposite. Like maybe, you know, you're just trying to improve like your weight or your, you know, skin, and you end up like having a complete glow up and people are like, what did you do? Did you have work done? It looks really good. And you're like, no, I'm just doing positive thinking. And they're like, sure, you know, like that kind of energy. So like things happening in ways you don't expect it is coming in February, but it's happening in a good way. Like I feel like a lot of you kind of expect the worst to happen in a lot of situations. And in this particular case, it's like you're even prepared for the worst, and like the complete opposite happens. And you're like, oh my gosh, maybe it's because I was doing more positive thinking, or maybe it was because I, you know, that kind of deal is what I'm seeing for February. And definitely glow up energy. Somebody glowing up by February. Rare. March. Queen of Cups, finding your emotional satisfaction from what you've been doing. Finding contentment, going with the flow, feeling in control of your emotions, and the emotions feel good. So all through March, I feel like you are focusing in on that, going with the flow of the universe. Somebody needs water. I need to drink some water. I'll be right back. You guys need water too. This is also a card about, what am I trying to say? Yeah, it's about leading with love. She leads with love, the Queen of Cups, okay? And like if she was in a deck of regular cards, she'd be the Queen of Hearts, not the crazy one that chops off people's heads. That was irony, right? Like, of course, the Queen of Hearts is the one that's cutting everyone's heads off, right? Like, that's a reference to Alice in Wonderland, you know, a fictional story where, yes, nobody actually gets beheaded, I don't think. Maybe. I only saw the Disney version. I never read the book because, I don't know, I'm just not a fantasy person. Like, it's not fantasy, isn't it, though? There's queens. I have a sibling that loves fantasy. So does her partner. They have like books, like volumes and volumes of fantasy books. And I'm like, how do you read through these? Do you like fantasy? Let me know in the comment section what fantasy books you think will turn me. No one's found one yet. I've come close a couple of times, but then I didn't. So, but yeah, leading with love. And that's what this card was saying. Do all your intentions with love, and you're going to bring all kinds of love back to you. And I feel like by March, with all the unexpected things that happen in February for good, and all the things that you've learned that are coming to fruition, you're like kind of riding high by March. Like, hey, I can do stuff. I have more control than I thought, right? And a lot of times that can just be positive thought, reframing, you know, instead of being like, I'm scared to fly, you say, I'm excited to go up high in the sky like a bird. And everything's going to be so fun up there and exciting, instead of like, oh, I'm about to get up there and it's going to feel like we're all going to crash, you know? Like, I have to do that anytime I go anywhere. I'm like, I'm excited to go. It's going to be fun. And usually if I do it that way enough, it does end up turning out better than it would have if I would have been like, we're all gonna die, it's gonna suck, you know, that kind of feeling. So by March, you're kind of riding high, feeling very emotionally stable, leading with love. Those of you who are interested in relationships, which is super gross, there might be a new relationship coming into you during this time in March, or your relationship that you're already in will start to feel very strong, happy, fulfilled, loving, good stuff, and you are helping create all that because you're leading with love and making your wishes come true. Yeah. April, 5 of Wands. Okay, so around April, what is it about April? Okay, you're the first ones that I'm saying this to this time. This was actually something that's been coming up for everyone lately. I have this new deck of cards that you'll get to see soon because it's still part of my winter collection that I use. It's not Christmas because it's not Christmas anymore, but if it's wintry outside, I'm going to have wintry cards inside because I'm just a weirdo that way. It's part of how I stay connected to the seasons, even though I can't leave my house or go outside very often. So bear with me there. If you're like, I wish you did tropical stuff all the time, like, yeah, yeah, well, I got lots of winter cards. They didn't call me Mad Miriam of the Frozen North for nothing back in the day. You know, I got that name when I was little tiny baby. And I've lived up to it very proudly. Mad Miriam of the Frozen North. So I like frozen things. I liked the movie Frozen, both of them, you know. Both the cartoon and the one where these kids get stuck up on a ski lift and they get eaten by wolves. Like, is she kidding? No, I'm not. Don't worry, it's not based on a true story. And you'll figure that out as you watch it. There's some things that don't quite make, you know, physical sense when you watch that film. If you watch that film. If you like bleak, dark, weird films, you're like, man, I'm glad that's not me. Watch Frozen, not the cartoon. The ski lift movie. Don't watch it if you don't like gross stuff to happen to people that is horrible in movies. Don't do it. Okay, so in April, and it's weird, April 25th in that new deck of cards literally has April 25th circled on a calendar in the picture. And that has stuck with me. It's like I think of it as my April card. I also think of it as the April 25th card. So there's conflict coming up in April, but to me it feels like outside of you, like world conflict or community conflict or even conflict at work or within family. Lots of people just not being willing to see anybody else's side and wanting everybody else to get caught up in it with them. This could be part of a test, you know, so some people might figure out that you're doing your little magic-y things and they go, oh, you're inviting in Satan. That could happen to some of you. Some of you are just really having a happy time for the year. And so people are going to notice that. And like, people can't help it. They like to knock you down or peg or two when you're up high, right? So, you know, you might be entering into a new relationship. They might be like, are you sure? You know, like, or, you know, you're entering into a new relationship, but you're not talking about it because you're just trying to go with the flow and lead with love and not project anything. And then they're like, well, why didn't you say anything if things are going so well? You know, it's like, oh my gosh, because I didn't want to listen to this garbage from you guys, right? So in April, either something big is going to happen on the 25th or up until the 25th. Try to steer clear. You know, and you don't have to get snippy like I do. I eventually end up getting snippy with people and basically telling them to mind their own business. And they go, ugh, you know. And they get very butthurt, like, trying to help. I guess it's you do you. You know, like, yeah, I was doing me, and then you came along. Now go away so I can do me some more. That kind of energy. So just kind of, you know, if they want to be right, just be like, oh yeah, I'm hearing everything you say. I really appreciate it. And then just don't tell them what you're going to do. And don't tell them what you do later. If they ask, just tell them you're doing great, you know? And even if you're not, you know, if you don't feel like there's somebody you can confide in, if there's somebody that you know is going to be kind of like, yeah, I knew it wasn't going to work out whenever something bad happens to you, maybe don't confide in that person. Don't confide in these little busybodies, right? I'm so busy worrying about what all these other guys are doing. I'm not even paying attention to my own dang self and what I could be improving upon. That's the energy I'm getting from these guys. And like I said, coworkers, family, friends, the community, the world. It can range all across those with all your different situations. So just kind of take what resonates, leave the rest. Keep away from these killjoys. April, May. 9 of Swords in reverse. That is excellent. That is all about you taking control, not sitting and fretting, sleeping well, communicating well, not wondering what everybody's thinking, not worrying about these guys because they're over here, you're over here, and you're doing great. Okay. I think it's interesting that all the women in this cards look kind of like the same woman. Now I realize they're all done by the same artist, and a lot of the women in here look like, you know, but it's kind of uncanny that almost all of them are exactly the same looking woman, especially these two look like the same chick. But yeah, letting go of anything that you don't have to hold, right? And that's new for you. And you're doing it with love too, detaching with love. Do you know what detaching with love means? It's like when a person you love, you know, for example, I'll give myself as an example so you don't feel like I'm calling anyone out. Like, detaching with love is like when you accept the person for how they are, right? Like if I had a friend say that was like really delving into the substance abuse, really nice and nitty gritty. And I'm like, that doesn't look like it's going to end well, right? But they're set in their ways. They want to do it. They want to drag me back into it with them. You know, those kinds of, you know, kind of situations, these kind of people. And detaching with love is saying, hey, I got no beef with you. I think you're a fine and dandy Danderson. A fine and dandy Danderson. That must have come from somebody else. I don't understand where that came from. I'm going to start saying it now, though, because it sounds pretty great. Danderson. I'm going to start calling like happy-go-lucky people Dandersons. Anyway, because they're dandy. They're so dandy, it's their family name. I don't know what's going on. Okay. I don't know where that came from. That was weird. What was I even saying? Oh, detaching with love. You know, you can say like, hey, I'm glad for you that that's working for you. I think it's great, but that's not what I want in my life. I don't think it's going to lead to anything good for me. I don't know about you. So while you are choosing to do that, I'm choosing to not engage with you. I love you. If you stop, look me up, right? But I'm not going to do this with you. I love you. And they go, oh, you don't love me. You're the worst friend in the world, or you're the worst daughter, or you're the worst rehab roommate. You're the worst, right? And that's fine. You know, that's just them projecting on you the hurt that they feel about being abandoned by the world and feeling betrayed by the world all the time. Remember, the world is not out to get you. It's out to get all of us. We're all in that same suffer boat together. We just get to suffer in different ways in the boat. So, like, I'm always upset about people who have more money because I'm like always worried about money because of my health. And then I see people with money and I read about them and I find out that they unalive themselves more than people who don't have money. And I go, must not have bought them happiness. I would still like to try. I would still keep doing these videos, but I do like these weird little raffles, like the first person that gets a movie quote right, you win $1 million. I'd have so many followers. I could pay myself off. Anyway, that is something I will do. There will be signs if I win the lottery. Trust. I don't play the lottery, but you know, I still feel like I'm going to win it sometimes. Oof. Okay. So leading with love, not getting mired down, sleeping well, feeling like secure, not feeling anxious. And that is what is coming in for May. June. Oh yeah, baby. Strength. You're feeling your power by June. You are making things happen. You feel so good. You're making things happen, whatever your wishes are. That's why I'm not getting into like a lot of detail, because like otherwise I'm just going to start getting visions of stuff I want. And the stuff I want is nothing like what most normal people want. I want weird things that don't make sense. I don't know. And I also don't wish for things that I feel like I don't deserve, even though I probably deserve them. Do you do that? Because I just thought of it, so you probably might be somebody in there that does. I'm looking at you. I see you. But yeah, strength, baby. Just feeling centered. Look how she's like taming this cobra. She's like, I ain't scared of this cobra. This cobra's scared of me. Don't play with cobras. They're quite dangerous. All right. So June riding high, feeling strong, building on that power because you are doing so well. Then we have, oh, gross. I knew this was going to come along and ruin my night. July, Knight of Wands. Some of you are going to fall in love in July. If you're already with somebody, don't have an affair. They don't really work out. If you want to be with somebody else, break up with your other person first. It's just better and less messy that way. You know, I was just thinking about affairs, because that's all I think about, because that's all people call me about. So anyway, affairs. If someone's having an affair and they're keeping it a secret from somebody else, and I know there's all kinds of reasons why people do that, it can't maintain that way. You know what I mean? Like, someone's gonna end up getting hurt. That's all I'm gonna say about that. For others, so there might be some temptation coming in for those of you that are already taken. Somebody might come galloping in on like a fiery hot steed, looking fiery and hot themselves, and you're like, you look good, and they're like, yes, I know. You look good too, and you're like, that's naughty thoughts. Don't give in to the naughty action without taking care of your other person you already committed to first. Try to level with yourself. I think a lot of times what happens with people is that they don't realize hormones and physical attraction doesn't always equate to actual love feelings. And I have ways that you can test that out, but I'm not going to talk about it on YouTube. Call me for a reading. I'll explain it to you. Some of you are already figuring out what I'm saying there. So some temptation coming in July for some of you. For others that are single, this is actually like a good thing. The Knight of Wands is like a passionate whirlwind of like yummy stuff, attraction and action with the attraction. So like, you know, if you're used to somebody being like, yeah, maybe babe, I'll call you, and then they never do, like this person would be showing up being like, come on babe, let's go for a ride on my fiery hot steed. That sounded somewhat suggestive. I can hear all the 16-year-old boys in my old classes phantom giggling at us right now. She's so mean. I couldn't even say attractive, like, you know, like that property isn't as attractive as the other one. They would wig out and be like, oh, attractive. Like I was like physically attracted to a piece of property. I miss that. I really do. I miss all of it. I miss laughing with them. I miss shaming them. I miss all of that. But your Knight of Wands people who are single, you know, this is just a really good, passionate time. This person's going to come just like, hello. And you're like, oh, yeah, where'd you come from? You know, that kind of feeling. And so for those of you who aren't interested in romance, or for those of you who are secure with your person and you would never enter into the temptation, it could just be a fiery person entering into your sphere who's like an Aries, or what are the other fire signs? Aries, frig. I can never remember the other two. It's because I don't know anybody else that was, I've known a few Aries in my life, but not the other signs that are fire signs. Fire sign, you know who you are. Could come into your life. Keep in mind they can be hot-tempered. They can say things that you're like, whoa, you know, or do things you're like, whoa, what the? And so that person might, you know, if they just kind of come into your life, that could kind of be like a different kind of test. Because I feel like you're such a go with the flow, kind, gentle water sign type, that this person could be like polar opposite from you, but in like a good way. And this is just like in a platonic way, like a friend or a brother or a lamp. Just kidding, it's not a lamp. I laughed so hard at somebody like, I didn't know I had a brother, and there he came in July. He was on a horse. Okay. And then for those of you that this isn't about romance or anything, it's more about what you're headed towards in your esoteric studies. This is like an idea that you have, or you really start, this is feeling so great. You're like, oh, I can do some major action now. Let's see if I can, I don't know. Okay, like for example, not too long ago, we had like this horrible inversion of like pollution where I am, which is like unflippin' acceptable because I live out in the middle of nowhere where you can't go to a fast food restaurant. And I mean, I can't go to those either, but I can go to the drive-thrus and get something I can have, right? Can't do that anywhere around here. Like, hello. But then I have to deal with pollution too in the air, messing up my breathing. We all know there's been weird stuff in the air lately. What the heck is going on? So like, I decided to start trying to like blast it out with magic. Why not? It's not gonna hurt me to do that, right? I swear it worked one time, right? And then I was like, man, what else can I do? So like, I see you doing things like that, like trying things, but you're like getting more bold, but not in a bad way, okay? Just in a more action-oriented way. Like, I want to try this. I'm going to try these. I'm going to try some of that. And really seeing some like results. Okay, I think I covered everything for July. August. Two of Pentacles, you're going to get kind of busy. I feel like, especially if you fall in love, you're going to be having a hard time juggling both. Okay, for those of you who give in to temptation, you'll be juggling two people. I highly recommend you not do that for your own good. I'm not judging you. I just, I've never seen it work out for all the parties involved. Like, even if the two people having an affair make it together, the other person is like hurt forever about what happened. And then I often see the other two people side-eyeing each other because they're like, well, you lied to your last partner. Why aren't you? Maybe you're lying to me now. You know, that kind of stuff. So that's definitely a thing. Some of you might be in a full-fledged affair by August. Ouch. Others, you know, you just fell in love, so you're having a hard time juggling between that, focusing on that, and being caught up in that whirlwind, and then also having your stuff that you're working towards, like career and your magic things. And so I see a lot of like, oh, how do I do this, right? What I think is cool is that you're holding both in equal importance, and that's an important thing if you're falling in love with somebody, that you're not just like throwing your other things by the wayside and like, you're all I need. Not the way to go about it, y'all. I know that's what it feels like we should do, and I know that they do it in the movies all the time, and then it just magically works out for them, but don't be that guy. Okay. For others that are also in a relationship, but somebody's tempting you, you're in August are kind of doing the whole, what do I do? Do I give into this? Do I not? What do I do? So like some of you haven't totally engaged in a full-on affair. At this point, you're just kind of like really tempted and kind of like, what do I do? Okay. I feel like for some of you, this is a person coming in that you're like, oh, you're a fiery, interesting person, and you're like kind of friends with them or whatever. They challenge your ideas a lot. So you might be kind of like going back and forth with ideas that they've challenged with them. It could be like going back and forth with how you feel about them because you are so different from each other. And then if it's like the spiritual thing, I almost feel like you are going to be very busy with all the things that are causing so much passion and so many wonderful, effective things that are happening, that you're going to be kind of like, what do I do next? And you get kind of overwhelmed. And then for some of you, you're just going to be busy, just doing a lot all at once. Okay. Whew, I think I got all of August there. Let's go into June, July, August, September. Six of Wands in reverse. Interesting. So for September, so Six of Wands in the upright position is like being recognized and admired by others. Okay. Six of Wands in reverse can kind of be a fall from grace. I feel like this could be some of you that are, if you engage in an affair, somebody could find out by September and you look like the bad guy because, you're the one that had an extra affair. It could affect the way others see you. Like they could see you could fall from grace in this. Like, for example, if I were to have an affair and it came out, like every student I ever had would be so disappointed in me. And it's not because they'd be judging me for being, some of them would, but it's because I talked such a big game about my gross relationship that I'm so happy in and have been for 25 years, right? It would be like killing that dream that they had, that two people found each other and were still managing to be happy, 25 years later, and they still kind of look like, we didn't look like their grandparents yet, like that kind of thing. We still look kind of hip, right? Because older people are looking hipper by the day, and it's because we're all older and we're all making it work. We're all setting an example for the rest of the world that, just because you're over 40 doesn't mean you can't still be hip. I love it. So anyway, I would fall from grace so quickly, like it would affect their opinions of me, and it would affect my opinion of myself, that they like know that about me, etc. and so forth. Yeah, it could be that, your person forgives you, but now they don't hold you in the same esteem that they did before. Yeah, so not good for the people who might be engaged in an affair. If there's something that you are tempted by, I feel like for some of you by September, that person's going to lose their luster and you're going to lose your lust for them. What's great is when that happens and you don't act on it. And you go, oh, what was I thinking, right? That was like the biggest mistake of my life. I didn't like them. That's why it's always better to wait before you have an affair. A lot of times it's like other hormonal things happening that have nothing to do with that person. It just has to do with how you feel about yourself anyway, or about what you think is missing with you and your partner. And I'm not saying that because I'm like, I think that's what you're doing. I'm just saying, like, I've gotten crushes before in my life way back in the day, and I was like, oh, and then it didn't happen, and then like 2 months later they like did something that I was like, ew, you pile of garbage, or they like made it seem like really like obvious that they were just trying to like sleep with me the whole time. I'm like, I thought I meant something to you. Well, never mind, right? And so that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so you're getting this sneak peek in. I would say avoid the affair for sure now that we're here. For those of you that are tempted, you're going to lose it pretty much by here. You're going to see things for how they really are and be like, no way, Jose, this is a bad idea. You smell like cigarettes and bad decisions. You smell like regret. And like, here's the other thing too that I've noticed over the course of my life. If you're in a solid relationship with somebody, people try to mess that up by like having affairs with you, having affairs with your partner, whatever, and so you gotta look out. But I see that being like a thing where they fall from grace in your eyes. that temptation goes away because you're like, wait a minute, you're not the cool, high horsey person I thought you were. You're kind of not good, right? And so that's interesting. For those of you that are already in a relationship and you're not contemplating an affair, and this is more about your journey in life, I feel like maybe somebody might disappoint you and get knocked off their high horse in front of you. Maybe a mentor that was helping you study, or maybe you're reflecting back on past teachers and experiences that you had that got you this far, and you realize like, oh no, you aren't as cool as I thought you were. I had an author that was my favorite author growing up, and then as I got older and older and, you know, studied literature for years and years and then reread some of the stuff and was like, oh, this writing isn't actually that great. And then I ended up finding out that the person that wrote it was kind of a weirdo, you know, like, you go, oh, great. Or you like find out that your favorite actor was like, you know, being bad with CP or other things that involve, you know, people who are underaged, that kind of stuff. And you go, oh, you know, you aren't who I thought you were. I see somebody falling from grace in front of you. And then for others, I see you choosing not to seek attention for the things that you're doing that are working for you. I see you not putting yourself in the spotlight at all, not posting about it, not talking about it, not bragging about it, not admitting failures or successes, and just keeping things very close to your vest. And your guides say that's a good thing. Do that. Don't give away all your secrets. And I also see some of you celebrating yourselves just in quiet, like not needing the approval of others to feel good about what you're doing. Okay. A spicy September, isn't it? So, October. Ace of Wands, a light coming on, the dark, wonderful ideas coming to you, a flame, a passionate flame ignited, and you step into a new deal. Not a different deal, just a very new, exciting, inspiring way of doing things. I feel like those of you who avoided making the mistakes that we talked about before, you have this like moment of like a light bulb of like, I did the right thing. Good for me. Oh, I feel so much better. It's like when you, like when you choose not to drink, when you're feeling emotionally vulnerable and you wake up the next morning when you've calmed down and you're like, oh, thank God I didn't drink. I would have drunk dialed that person so fast. No. I've had many a moment like that. So, yeah, like a light coming on the darkness. I feel a lot of relief with this card. Like relief you didn't enter into an affair, or relief that this person revealed their true colors in time for you to like get away from them. But yeah, anything that you're not sure about in light of any of the stuff that's led up to here, you're going to have a big epiphany in October. And I feel like, you know, October is getting towards the veil being thinnest. And so it's really a good time to do magical things and really experiment. Don't experiment to the point where you're going to do something silly, like let a bunch of weirdos into your house. Like if you're not sure how to do this stuff safely, you know, set up an appointment with me. I'll talk with you about it, you know, or just look it up on the internet. I'm sure there's probably plenty of advice out there for free. Okay, but yeah, a new fiery passion, a new idea, a new adventure, all that good new stuff for October. November, oh, truth. So for those of you that were maybe in a fair situation, the truth is going to come out by here for sure. Even if this hasn't happened or everybody doesn't know the whole deal here, it's going to come out here. The truth is going to be revealed in November in all kinds of different ways. I feel like those of you who have been practicing are also going to get more vocal about what you've been doing, not in the looking for approval from the people, like, I'm doing magic, is that okay? Like, not like that. Just, something like, you do magic, right? And they want you to go, and instead you're just like, I guess it depends on what you mean by magic, is what I always say. What do you mean, like pulling rabbits out of a hat? I always say that. No, like, I'm like clicking my heels together 3 times and going to a magical land. Like, what kind of magic are we talking about here? Making magic like in the bedroom? I just make them uncomfortable. Like, man, I'm really sorry I brought this up. And then if they actually even have the gumption to say, no, like, spells. Are you doing spells? I'm like, yeah. Like when I first got into recovery, and like I would have died if people knew that I had had a problem with drinking, and that like I was like scared to ever try it again because it might like make me do something crazy like I used to do, etc. and so forth. And I don't want people to ever know I had a problem, especially now that I'm a teacher. And then you have somebody like out you at like a dinner, and they're like, you're in recovery, right? And everybody goes, Urch. And they all start moving away all the wine bottles from you, and you're like, oh my gosh. I controlled myself around them this whole time, guys. That kind of like truth coming out. But like, I also got to a point where I just looked at people and, even though I made it clear by my demeanor, I was like, okay, this is a weird topic to bring up in front of everybody, but yeah, like, sure. I've done some recovery work, yes. And yeah, the truth will come out. And so stand by your truth, right? That doesn't mean twist the truth to be what you need it to be. It means like stand by what you know to be true, the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you tell the truth during this time, you will be rewarded for it in some way. You'll at least be respected more, and you will gain more integrity if you just tell the truth about whatever's going on in November. I feel like a lot of it is just tied into, relationships, or your magic, or, people just kind of butting into your business and you just being like, yeah, like, didn't you have an affair last year? And you're like, yeah. And, that kind of stuff. Like, I don't see you shrinking away. Okay. And your guides are saying, don't shrink away. Just hold to your truth. Speak it plainly. Don't worry about sugarcoating it with adjectives or whatever. It is what it is. I did what I did. I didn't do what I didn't do. Whatever. I'm gonna stop talking because I'm starting to say silly things. Okay. And then for December, we have the Hanged Man in reverse. This can show some delays. So maybe something you were hoping that was going to happen in December might be put off for a little while. It also can mean that you're seeing something clearer than you used to. Okay? Because when you have the Hangman in the right side up position, it's like it might be telling you need to look at things differently, or that you're not seeing something, or that you're holding yourself back in some way, or whatever. This would indicate that you are seeing things clearly, that things are looking right to you, that you are seeing things for how they are. So for some it's delays, for some it's clarity coming through. Let's get some okay, let's get some clarifiers for just the whole year in general. We have 2 of Cups. So many of you, like if you don't engage in the affair, or you detach with love the way you're supposed to, or you lead with love and you fall in love, this is a very, some of you could be getting married this year. Some of you could be getting engaged. Some of you could just be making a very big commitment to somebody in love. Very nice. Others might patch things up with their significant other after an affair. It could just be a partnership of other sorts. like finding a bestie, finding a person to do your magic with, but it's a very, very equal feeling. It can also be about making a deal, like a deal with, a company or a deal with whatever. It could be making a deal with your own creator, right? So regardless of this whole deal, this is very much saying that your wishes are going to come true this year. Can there be mistakes that happen? Absolutely. Have you been warned about them a little earlier? Well, you have now. So, there's only one thing I can think of that everybody should try to avoid in this one, and that's the temptation of an affair. But other than that, it's looking pretty spicy awesome, right? Yeah, Knight of Pentacles coming out on top, feeling like you are mastered in some way, making money in some way, feeling accomplished, glowing up. This is very much like Six of Wands to me, in that people are going to notice that you are doing well, and that's what you're going to look like to them, like, oh, they just have it all, right? Okay. And then Three of Wands, plans coming through well, your wishes coming true, etc. and so forth. So like for a lot of you, there's really not even the hiccup of the affair. And so like it's like very positive overall, like for everyone involved. Very nice. All right, with that, I shall leave you. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm so sorry it took this forever to get to you, but at least we finally got it done. I shouldn't say that. I still have to try to upload the thing, but we'll see what happens. I also apologize if the lighting looks bad or if the camera doesn't focus in right. New camera app, new lighting situations, new everything. And I've been on the struggle bus with it this whole time. So I appreciate your patience. I apologize if the pictures aren't quite good enough. I'm going to be watching them very closely as I review them to see which ones look best, especially once they're uploaded. So just bear with me. I'll try to get them better and better as we go. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box, my friends. Thank you so much. And we will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.